Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures back in positive territory once again this morning, coming off a bit of a muted session yesterday. We had the S&P closing lower at the end of the day, snapping a two-session winning streak when all was said and done. It was about 0.1%, but negative is negative. Everything else relatively unchanged on the day. Yesterday it was utility stocks leading to the downside, while energy shares bounce back. Nice gains right across the board for energy stocks. We'll talk about that coming up once again this morning as oil continues its tear as well. The NASDAQ gained 0.1% yesterday, worth noting, to close at yet another all-time high. Weekly jobless claims numbers just out. We'll have a look at that coming up here in a couple of minutes. Individually, Tesla touched a 7-week high yesterday. It's up about 2% in the pre-market. Beyond Meat, a little bit of news this morning on BYND. We'll have a look at that. And of course, we'll talk about the meme stocks. Once again, not terribly active in the pre-market so far. It's Thursday, June 24th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. As I said, nicely higher to kick things off today. The S&P and the Dow up about 0.5%, 0.6 for the NASDAQ currently. TSX 0.4 here in Toronto. You can see crude oil, a bit of a pullback today, 0.5% back to the downside. Both Bitcoin, Ethereum in positive territory as the recovery, I guess, continues for cryptocurrencies. Good morning, guys. Thursday morning here, we have another interesting morning setting up here. There's a lot more other names kind of doing more volume in the pre-market. Number of different individual news items we'll get to. Of course, we have to look at those squeeze stocks once again.
Yes, we do. We got to look at the squeeze stocks and welcome everybody. It should be a fun one today. I don't know what the opposite of getting orfed is, and we talked about that when ORF went to the downside. Whatever the opposite is, it's doing it to the upside here. So I guess it's orphasmic as it's up 10% and just made a bit of a move in the pre-market. There is a lot. Look, there's a lot to follow. We have Carnival reporting before the bell, and Brendan reminding me that I'm like, where's Carnival's earnings? Last time, they reported, I think it was like 8:45 around that time. So we are expecting Carnival to report earnings or lack thereof before the bell. The squeeze plays are going to be in there. And then there's a few other movers on the list today. Tesla is back on the radar as it continues its push, just making that miss yesterday on that long we talked about even worse. But there's going to be plenty of ways to make up for it today because a lot of movers here, Sean.
Yeah, including Palantir up again, and welcome guys back to the show. It's 8:30. It's going to be a good one here today as the NASDAQ continues its march to all-time highs, up 0.6 again. We get a jobless claims number there coming through. It was a durable goods and jobless claims coming through. The NASDAQ making a little bit of a move down there, and now we have Palantir up to 2670. So again, guys, we say,
oh my God.
That's a little bit delayed there. As just keeps on going to the upside. You guys have noticed Palantir just tick, 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 boom. We called this. I mean, again, we'll hang our hat on the call because we were making this. People were wondering if Palantir was in trouble down here. They were. They came back from the dead, and now we're up to a nice little level there. We're watching ORF. We've got the sticky note is up and posted. We have a short now posted on YouTube as well about this. And if you didn't see our short yesterday with Valeria, she goes 3 for 3. On pretty good, Valeria, but I want to get you today. I have some more. I'm going to do that. I think we can do that every day. We're going to have name the symbol with Valeria. Yesterday was Roblox, Microsoft, which she called Mr. Softy. That was pretty impressive. And then the one that I thought I tricked her on was BlackBerry. Maybe you can find the link there, Valeria, and post it in the chat of you and I going back and forth. But that was really fun. We're doing those little fun shorts. Brendan had a market update as well. So definitely check our channel throughout the day. I have one on the sticky note today. It's fun times.
All right, lots to talk about this morning. Let's get right into it here. Some numbers out, as Sean was mentioning. First off, I'll show you the GDP Q1 final. Exactly in line with expectations. Core prices exactly in line with expectations. Here we go. The initial claims expected 380,000 came out 411,000, so slightly up again week over week. If you remember back to last Thursday, same thing happened. So we'll see what happens with the overall market here. Before we go any further, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss V.
Hi guys, welcome back everyone. I hope you enjoy your day and stay in a positive territory. Guys, please don't forget to like this video right now and let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's indeed get it started, guys. Want to show you Snapchat to kick things off. We haven't looked at Snapchat for a little while here, but a nice move in the afternoon yesterday. There was that Supreme Court ruling that came out late in the day yesterday. It was about 2 o'clock, 2:30. That was in favor. So a bit of a move into the close, to say the least, up to 67. So Snap up here 1.6%, guys, in the pre-market, doing some volume.
Yeah, I mean, the really good thing about the chart is that break, the break that you have on this 66 level, getting you finally, I mean, you can see where the support was. And the last time we talked about Snapchat was getting back into the support range. And it's essentially been that 48, but the top end has been pretty clear here at 66. I think especially with the NASDAQ again showing some strength today, we're crushing to those highs, you're seeing a lot of these names which were falling asleep, maybe a little higher value names, and then you get this catalyst pushing us through that 66. I think we're going to make a nice little move into that 70, that 73-ish high today. So it's not a ton of volume in the pre-market. If you look at the 15 here, just very, very quickly, like there is a chance that you get a snap back. I don't know. I got nothing better than that. A snap back into that 66 yesterday's close. There's got to be support down there, guys. So Snapchat's on the radar. I just wish there was some volume going into this one in the morning. It's pretty light so far, so I want to check back on it in case there's any kind of a dip we can buy. I don't like the break without volume. I need volume for any kind of a breakout trade.
Did any of you guys like this idea? How about Cardano, guys? 137. We're trading 135 right now. We stamped it. We tweeted it out. We put our money where our mouth is on this one when it was down near $1. Can't believe it dripped down to that low as well on that crypto crash. And now you're 37% in the money off of 1 day. But remember, this is crypto, or 2 days, I guess. This is crypto. Like this could fall right back down again. I just want to let people know that if you are in this, you may want to take some off. You're 37% in the money. If you're just playing with kind of play money, then you may want to hold this because I do think this is eventually a runner. But we could, again, I still am a little bit bearish on, Bitcoin and ETH right now just because of the time. It's summer. People talk about it being crypto winter in the summer. So we're going to wait to see what happens in the fall. That's really the exciting spot. I didn't buy more there. So, I mean, my cost base is lower, much lower than $1. But the point is that I should have there if you look at a daily chart. And again, I'm just going to talk. I mean, you guys want more crypto. I get told that all the time. So we're going to talk about it quickly, and then we'll go back over to stocks. Look at this bottom. And I'm starting to look at crypto the exact same way that I look at equities, right? I mean, we were never doing that down here when we're trading like 5 cents. You can guess where I'm long in here, but the point is that now they're starting to actually build out levels and look pretty realistic here. This is just a daily chart. We can zoom this out and back and forth, but $1, you have to look at support and resistance now for some of these things, including, that Bitcoin 30K level. I mean, how much, more obvious does that have to look? Right there. Whoa, God, I keep doing that all the time. Right there, right? 30,000, the same type of thing. Dropping spots there, right? So you got to look at 30, 40. We're just basing out right now. The next break, I think, takes us where we want to go. But I am a little nervous if we keep testing this 30, I feel like it can get into the mid-20s. So I'm a little bit bearish on some of these. Not bearish to get out of my position, of course. I talked about selling 10% over on the weekend, and we're right back to those levels, so it's not like I made a great decision. But yeah, I just think that there is an opportunity to get some of these names for a little bit lower. Great move on Snapchat, man. I mean, the equity is where 95% of my money is. So we're very, very concerned about the NASDAQ and equity markets. But so far, so good here. Congratulations. Let me know if you did get any of that ADA. I tweeted it out as well. So respond to that, guys.
All right, guys, keeping my eye here on Carnival. Neil was saying Carnival set to report at some point, we hope, before the open. So anyone looking at CCL today, just a heads up, expecting news here. Within the moments coming up, let's bring in Luis Barbado from the Day Trade the World office in Barcelona, Spain, to discuss the past couple of weeks and also what to expect coming up today. Going to be an interesting one. Luis, good to see you, by the way. It's been a couple of weeks. Hope you are doing well, enjoying the summer over there in Spain. What have you been looking at the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, it's been, first of all, it's been an amazing week here with a lot of volume and some very nice stickers as AMC and Wish. So yeah, summer here in Barcelona, we are enjoying this crazy and volatile volume market.
Lots of volume, as you said. Let's focus on some of these meme stocks or squeeze stocks, whatever you want to call them, and talk a little bit about how we've seen a bit of rotation over the past couple of days. I mean, AMC had one of its quietest days in as long as we can remember yesterday. Really not much of a range. How have you been kind of following the volume and successfully at that, following the volume to make sure you're in the right one at the right time?
Actually, it's been even better for us, AMC, not so much volatile, not so crazy as it was when it went to 70. It is true that we are in more quiet days in this range, 55, 60s. Okay, so we are pretty confident if it keeps in this range. So we are trading in very active AMC. Let's see, 63, 51 are the two levels to break. If it goes 63, we might go to highest. If it goes below 50, then we might see bleeding for weeks against the 20s. So this has been very nice stock for us. Of course, this week is Wish, WISH. Nice stock with huge volume. Monday, I think, was like 300, 400 millions shares traded. So very nice stock as well. And we're checking Clover and Warhorse, which are in important levels as well. Warhorse is trying to break the 1650s. I think we're gonna see a running up if it goes to new highs, Warhorse.
And let's also mention ALF, maybe that's Alphi or Alfie, however you want to say it. Popped up at the beginning of this week, kind of included in this Wall Street Bets group, if you will. ALF. Any luck with that one?
Yeah, we've been trading in this short squeeze, going short in the panic moments and taking so long in the pullbacks. Although it is hard to borrow stocks, so we have to locate it. Always you have to take into account this. If it's not easy to borrow and the float and the short float in the stock, is it, as you say, Reddit or Wall Street Bets stock? So you have to be very careful when to jump in, but it's true, it's kind of humbled to go short in this short squeeze and not very high position, measuring the size very much, but it's pretty nice stocks also. When it consolidates in the pullback, you can try to look for some dips to jump in the trade going long.
Let's talk about Workhorse. We'll go back to WKHS here. News earlier in the week, they said, they're preparing that challenge as far as the contract is concerned. How much are you focused on what might happen as far as that is concerned? And if not, how do you kind of put that aside and just trade what's in front of you, trade the price action?
It's a stock we really like for short mid-term, Warhorse. I think it's went to too low when it go to $10. Now we're seeing an uptrend, and I think if it breaks 1650s, then it might test $18, and then we see an uptrend for probably a longer term. So we are very aware of the shorts because of the news, because of the important resistance level that we are testing these days. Gapping up today, I don't know right now how much, but gapping up right now, let me see, 2% only, but you see 1645, a couple of time rejection. I think we're gonna go to test it again during the market, I hope. If it breaks 1650s, we're looking for long, in the dips. Anytime that it moves a little bit down, we're gonna try to go long on this name.
Yeah, decent recovery here. If you look at the daily chart as well, bouncing back above that 15, 14, 50, 15, as you said. Anything outside of what we've mentioned over the past couple of minutes here for today that you kind of have your eye on?
Yeah, we're gonna take a look to TRCH. It's been very, very down for the last days. I think 3-4 days in a run, very strong down. Today, if it breaks $5, $4.80, $5, we might see finally a day up. We're checking Orpheus as well. We call it Orpheus, is ORPH. Okay, this stock is very interesting as well. It's difficult to trade, okay, due to locates and high volatility with not so much volume. So you have to really be aware when you jump in, adding liquidity or removing. But it's an interesting stock today. If it breaks $8.50 or $9, it might see a short squeeze, very nice. And we're checking as well RF, ARAV, and GTT, two stocks that are moving. RF is right now 31% up, 720s, 750s. it's important level to break up. If not, we're going to look for short. It's easy to borrow today. So if it holds here and doesn't break new highs, we're going to try to short this to fill the gap a little bit down.
When you mentioned Orphazyme there, that ORPH, when you're looking at a stock that maybe is a little bit lower in liquidity, thinly traded, as we like to say, is it key level breaks that you're concentrating on mostly, or are you looking for maybe areas where it might see a bit of a turn and capture that directional change?
First of all, you have to be very aware of not getting too big in the position, so you got troubles to go out in the case it goes wrong. You don't have a slippage, or you don't have important levels that where you really cannot go out because you are trading too big. To go in, hidden orders sometimes, to don't block the market, to don't stop the market, hidden orders, or looking for some big bids or big offers to get filled easy with removing liquidity. But very important to don't go too big, or you don't have really volume to get out in the prices you really want because of the spread and low volume, but high volatility. So if you are wrong, you really have troubles to get out. So it's too much risky. As I say, level 2 here is key important. Hidden orders and big bids, bid offers to see really when is the timing to jump in the trade and don't get stuck in a big position against the market.
Yeah, it's so important to understand, the possibility of where it could go, how that differs between symbol to symbol. Luis Barbado from the Day Trade the World office over in Barcelona in Spain. Great to have you as always. Good stuff. We'll speak again in a couple of weeks.
Thank you very much, Brandon. See you in a couple of weeks.
You as well. Yeah, let's talk about Workhorse here, guys, because one that popped up yesterday doing higher volume coming off that news earlier in the week. Again, here we are, up 2% as Luis was saying, kind of holding on to top end of the range from yesterday's.
Yeah, and as Luis mentioned, it's kind of, you can look at the daily chart here to get a look at that 1650 area that he mentioned. And look, you're going to get that cluster for the last couple of weeks in here. But then right above, you do have this other double top. It's not really 19. I mean, you can go up to here and you look at that 1960, but I'm sort of eyeballing this 1865. There's a good amount of space between that zone. So when Luis says if we get above that 1650, it can look bullish. When you look at the 15 here, and without the benefit of pulling things back, you might say, okay, well, I don't necessarily get that thesis, but it makes a heck of a lot more sense when you look at that recent peak. So we've been sitting in this range. You made that nice support bounce. And 1650 looks good to me. And I give a shout to all the people that were looking at Workhorse yesterday off of, there was the SEC thing as well, the heavy short interest. And you got a strong move to the upside where a lot of the meme names and squeeze names weren't doing a heck of a lot. So you really had to pick your spots. Workhorse led the group. I do think it's going to have some trouble. It gets to that 1850 zone, but that's probably a place where, it screams up into there, you got yourself a short, but it's hard not to like a look above that 1650 given what we saw yesterday, Brennan.
Yeah, I just want to talk about quickly another name here. Fisker again continues to make some moves to the upside, also consolidating very similar to Workhorse at a high level. So you do have $20 coming into play today on FSR, a big mover here. This is the only name that I've recommended in the EV space besides Ford, GM, and Tesla. So I like Fisker much more than Workhorse or Ride or CCIV, any of these kind of things. So let's just wait to see what happens. But Fisker right now, the same kind of love for you as Workhorse on the daily. So look out for a break right now of FSR. It looks like we're taking it out. We love these consolidation levels, just like right here. Like it was a no-brainer buy at 15. That's where we first got in on Fisker. No, actually, we got in early on Fisker, but then bought some more in here and then got out here, got out when we broke through, and then bought some back around 11, 10.50, 11. It did dip down to 9.50 or 9 and change. So this is the thing about Workhorse and about Fisker and about some of these names is you've doubled. So like you've doubled in a month, right? So you got to be very, very careful about profit taking. You are well above VWAP right now. That's the 50 period, sorry. You're well above the 50 period moving average here on a daily chart. So just watch out for some of these names. Despite the news, there could be profit taking very soon as the NASDAQ is at all-time highs.
Yeah, still technically, though, looking great for FSR. Here we go. Upgrades and downgrades, guys. Bed Bath & Beyond. 6% in the pre-market here for BBBY, MGM Resorts on this side. Moderna down here as well, trying to bounce back after a couple of down days as well. This side of the board, Dollar Tree top end. Nothing else terribly exciting though. BP on there, but basically flat. Energy stocks, as we've said, very strong over the past week or so, guys.
I just, we did get a super chat there. I'm looking at our, I don't know, we have that subscribe thing up now. I don't know, I'm looking at the board. It shouldn't say, I'm not in any position, so I don't know.
I got GTT, but
I don't know if you're talking about Neil or not. Yeah, I see the positions now. So, no, we're not long 1271. Maybe we are in our own accounts, but we're not definitely long here on the show. So sorry about that, Mike. If it said that at one point, it is incorrect.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, guys. Thanks for pointing it out. I didn't see it either, but always good to get the feedback from you guys. Bed Bath & Beyond is one of those. It has been one of those squeeze things before, but there is sort of a little bit of a technical structure off of the recent bounce that it just had. I mean, you had that pullback when everything came back in and settled back down, and you get this bounce off the 50 period of 27. You get this extension and. You go right back in. You've made this nice little cup, and you're going to talk about potentially breaking through this 31 area. You likely have some chop a couple of dollars higher. So if the volume was better, I mean, this would probably pretend to a breakout trade. But you sort of look back into this 30 support that we're gapping above here, and a continuation of making this round up towards 33. You look at that 30 as a bit of a support level in the next couple of days. If there is a pullback, that looks pretty juicy on a setup to take in Bed Bath & Beyond. So the last couple of sessions, I think, you focus on some of the meme names, your Orfs, your Alfs, those ones right off of the bat at the open, and then maybe throw in a Tesla, obviously, when you don't mess up your stop order. But Bed Bath & Beyond, I think, is a more patient play. Like, I'd like to get it back in that 30 level off of this to continue this upward trend, as opposed to, paying the top here, which would be 31 and a quarter.
Someone there, I guess it was Pedro, what's up? And I'll try to, look, if you guys tag me and I can see it in time, then I will. And you're welcome, Miss May, for posting the sticky note on IG. Yeah, your son is your mini twin. Yeah, probably true, unfortunately for him. Kramer is tweeting, I guess he means BBBY, 3 Bs there to the moon. What a shade. So I don't know. I mean, Kramer is back and forth. Eli Lilly thoughts. Yeah, we'll talk about that. I love some Tesla, guys. We have Eli Lilly's on our watch list. So if you get that, watch us on tradertv.live. BBBY is also on the list today. Neil was just talking about it there. I don't really see too much movement on the stock right now, if that is what Kramer's tweeting. But again, there's a short interest. And then if you do look at it from a technical standpoint here, we're above its 50 period moving average. So that's good. It's probably fairly priced. I mean, you can't look back here at $6 or $7 and be like, that's where it belongs. Remember, we have reopened now, and companies can restructure, can figure things out. So this is a good story. Plus, you do have some of the shorts. Watch out for this 33.50. I'll take longs. I just got to find the right spot.
Let's jump into the watch list, guys. A number of names to get through, including Eli Lilly, as Sean mentioned there. A couple of different stocks involved in some Alzheimer's news this morning. So we'll touch on Eli Lilly. Biogen as well, down big time on that Eli Lilly news. There's the link to the morning note that we send out every single morning before we come on at 8:30. Absolutely free to you if you want to sign up for that. Go right ahead. Miss V will be happy to help you in the chat if you need that link again. Let's start off with Clover Health this morning. Was very active again yesterday. Still number one, guys, on the WSB sentiment chart.
What is WSB? Oh yeah, we remember that. I don't know how many times I'm gonna look at this setup on the 15-minute, guys, and it's like we just showed you Bed Bath & Beyond. It's not entirely dissimilar with Clover here. I mean, you can take a look at this like $14 area. It was like support. We break below it. You break below it. You find support at 11. You're testing back up towards the top, and now you're trying to break away from it. So there's been a couple of there was a sharp pullback off the absolute bottom, but you held up pretty nicely there at 11.75. Now you're making those lower highs. I mean, look, if you're into trend lines, you can draw them all you want. That looks like a pretty one here, but that wedge is forming at that 14.50 area. So you do have this potential break in Clover. You get above this price, and you go back to last time we were here, right at the close on a sharp pullback, a nice little pivot point here at 14.50 or so. So, I mean, Clover through the upside. I'm looking at Wish as well today, and we're going to be watching Orf. But if you're going to get some movement here in some of these meme names that has a continuation, you kind of look for this consolidation that's happening right now in Clover and forming up for a bit of a break. It plays the other way too. Like if you get a hard failure here, like a break at 14.60, and that takes you not past that 15 area right at 9:30, one of those trap trades, and it slams back down. You guys know that's been pretty solid for a reversal. There was a great one in which the other day, and Clover's actually done it itself, especially in yesterday's action. So you have to be ready for that style of a trade. At 9:30, I always try to be ready for that quick little fake break reversal. We've seen it happen time and time again, and Clover set up pretty nicely, though. The consolidation puts you in more of a bullish side today.
I just put the link up to the sticky note if you haven't seen it yet. Clover, the #1 stock on this list, 1450 long break, support back to 1350. So to me, it's going to be a pretty easy one. You can check that out on the sticky note for some key levels. CLOV, we had it yesterday. I don't know if my trades will show up here. No, they won't. We had it yesterday in the pre-market long. That was great. We got it out right at the top. That was fine. And then we were buying down into here. So that's why we're going to talk about that 1350 support. It's actually back down to 13. I don't say getting out at 1350. It's just watch out for some 1350 support there. And then also that 1450 break to the high side. We had yesterday's high. That's where we got out. So we're going to watch 1450 today on that high break. So we already have the orders ready to go. If we break through 1450, then we're going to go long. I guess it's 1455 to be exact, guys, on Clover.
Quick look at Roku before we continue here, guys, because another day, another gap to the upside for Roku, 2.25% here to the upside, coming up to 432. If you remember late in the day yesterday, this thing popped up on heavy volume, talking about discussing a possible deal with Viacom versus Comcast. Comcast fell, Viacom popped up. So another day, another gap for Roku. This daily chart is very, very nice, very impressive for ROKU. Let's go to Alfie, or Alphi, whatever you want to call it. Shares back in positive territory this morning. Actually, I'm reading the wrong one. ALF is lower in pre-market trading here after that move that we saw 2 days ago, coming off that Benzinga article, guys. But pretty good move once again, and volume here anyways for ALF.
Yeah, it's actually almost dead flat at this particular point, and we talked about this one in the close show. So if you guys were following along in the close show, you did have that breakout, and then it faded back in. They had the news about the. I don't know. I guess I kidded a little bit about the share repurchase being $2 million, not $2 million, not 2 million shares. It was pretty small, but it's a healthy chunk. It's like 1% of their market cap. So it actually made it for a little bit of a squeeze back to the upside. That's all it could do. You're right back on that low right here. Now it's like 1135. I mean, if this gets taken out, it's near impossible not to look at a short through the bottom here on something like an Alpha with a setup like this. We talked about this in the close show. If it was able to hold that level and maybe break from here, there's some upside, and you can have a quick look at like a 1260 or something like that. But this is one of those, you take it in the pre-market if it comes. It should still be short sell restricted. Because you can see it did make a move down of obviously more than 10%. So that is for the day it happens and the following day. So when you're trying to hit the bid, it means you need an uptick to get that fill. Always a chance that you could fade into it. Like maybe it'll test the low of the day, break it, and then come right back in. Either way, I'm looking at Alphi. I don't know. 1130 is that low break. I keep saying Alfie because of the movie. I know it is Alphi.
All right, someone wanted my Instagram, so I will post that. Yeah, I do have it. It's at Trader TV Sean. I don't know. I'm trying to go to my home screen here and send it to you. I don't know how to even do that. Okay, here you go, profile. I'll just put that in the chat right now. You guys can follow me. Yeah, we put some fun stuff up on Instagram. You'll see various things here. It's the same. You know what's going to be? There's so many fake accounts out there for me, but thank you guys for reporting it all the time. You see my man on my Twitter, and there's my daughter there as well. And then my older one is over in university. So yeah, I'm an old man at this point. If you haven't seen it, my kid here, and we don't have to worry. If I'm not here, you'll be able to see this guy come in, and he's talking about AMC and crypto here as it's crashing, wearing my hat and a Trader TV sweater. So you guys can check that out. Thank you for all the love as well. And then Shakib, yeah, we have the hydrate here. So we've got the water. We didn't have steak last night. We had butter chicken. Butter chicken, very good. Thank you to my wife for cooking that and throwing that down. That was a nice little thing there. CCL not reporting yet. I don't see any numbers out for CCL, but that's going to be also a name on watch. Alf, yesterday we were talking, yeah, still nothing. Alf, yesterday we were talking about it being short all day. We did hit the short. We had that short. It's showing the NASDAQ. Okay, we had the short up right here off this break. So we halted, we took the short, and then we were able to cover it down here. So let's watch out for ALF. It's the number 3 name on this sticky note. I have 1130 for a short. If we can come down and break 1130, I don't know if that happens. Otherwise, we'll wait to see if we can get some shorts up here near 1350, be pretty sweet as well. So let's wait to see what happens with ALFI. I just, some of these names that are up this much don't really make sense to me. So we got to keep fading them down. I mean, this is not a stock like a Fubo or Skills or something that I believe, does have room to run. Fubo getting added to the Russell 3000. So that's why we made that call the other day, going long on Fubo. I think it was 30 or 31, something like that. So now you're up to 33 on that one. So all is good here in Fubo land, but I don't feel the same for ALFI.
Just watching this MRIN, that Marin software, trading above 3 and holding for now above 3. So that is definitely a big level of support if you're watching MRIN. If it does hold above 3, should continue. Let's bring in Arun here, have a look at the overall market, understand what we need to be aware of as far as the futures are concerned. Arun, pretty flat here overall, but definitely higher overall on the day again.
Yeah, we got above that 50 area that we've been watching for a while now. 50 above that 50. Now we've got some support on the way back down. So I am looking to buy some longs or get into some longs, especially around the mid to low 40s. I mean, I'm willing to start now, but I really prefer into the mid to low 40s because that's where we spent a lot of time and a lot of volume yesterday. So I'm looking for that area to kind of hold as support, reduce my exposure as much as I possibly can. I'm willing to pay, like I said, I'm willing to pay up to 50. I've already got some up here, but I'm willing to pay all. I prefer to pay much lower. The stop on that would be 40. If we get below 40, then we kind of create a situation which could cause a massive downward move, because that would be a breakout failure, and a breakout failure with this much volume already been traded yesterday and also then rejected today as well creates a much bigger issue in terms of immediate trend. So we've been going straight up for the last few days now. If we fail that 40, we may have a problem going into tomorrow's rebalance. So I would prefer us to stay above 40 overall, kind of keep that expansion going. And then, of course, tomorrow we can do what we're going to do with the burst of activity we're going to get at the close. So for now, 40 is a support level. Longs are the bias. And on the secondary support I've got is just below 4,200. That level's in play for a few days now, around the 10 mark, 42.10-ish. If we can get down there, find some support, then you have a potential for a long as well. But again, the key is going to be that 42.40 and see if we can actually hold that.
Good stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning. Speaking of the Russell, let's have a quick look at this if we can, guys. QuantumScape set to join the Russell 3000 and the 1000. There we go. Here we go. QS 3000 and the 1000, as I mentioned. So QS just popping up here, Sean. Yeah, you like that.
I like that. I also like Clover, so we're going to bang out Clover here. A nice little win already to start the day. 14.50 long. Like, let's go, man. Spicy meatball action. 40 cents in the money. Like, this is the kind of stuff that we're talking about. If you're not, I say this every single day, and it doesn't mean to be boastful or anything like that. But if you're not, like I just talked, I'm sure Neil's long too, maybe. I'm just talked about that level on Clover, guys. 14.50, like, it was obvious. It stood out there like a sore thumb. We took that long and just grabbed it out for 25 cents. So, yeah, big move there on Clover. Let's wait to see where we go from there. But I'm taking it out every time, at least half there in the pre-market. I've loved QuantumScape, again, for a long time. It's nice to see it's being added. That's probably a trigger there to start buying this thing. You guys all remember where we were stuck long 42. If you're part of the show, they did get that downgrade from Scorpion. I'll never forget it. And we got out right away, like 37, 38, something like that, live on the show from a 42 long. So we did take that 10% hit. Thank God we did. But guess what? I'm getting back in. So if we're going to break this 50 period, which is right here, $30, we will do that. I think QuantumScape is a no-brainer long now. That the fact that it's being added is a great sign. And I like it. There's really no levels. The volume's not great, but we're going to punch this thing through 30 today. QS through 30. We like it. And I think I like it a lot.
There was a headline there on Clover real quick as well that caused that move here. They just announced they're going to expand to 101 new markets, guys. So heads up on Clover. More positive momentum for CLOV. Let's continue along. Orphazyme, ORPH. I just like that name. Very active again this morning in the pre-market. Lots of volume here, guys. After Goldman talked about 5.5% still in this company as of last Thursday. Yesterday, that caused that big move we saw yesterday in ORF.
ORF is going to get ORF'd. By the way, I did miss out. I'm going to fix my position board. I missed out on that trade. I just went to the bathroom, guys, and filled my water. Just so you guys know who was going for a little bit there. Took a bit of a break. I would never leave a stop order out for a pre-market position on a break on a volatile name like Clover in that particular case. So it's a great break. I like that same price. If it comes back to it, maybe you'll get a shot. I don't think you're going to get a shot at that price again, guys. But Orphazyme is on, well, it's on the move. But it just resisted and just failed at like 840, right? So if we're going to talk about potential move back to the upside, one of the things we had mentioned here was that support that it had at 6, and then the afternoon choice said it's a fantastic sign that you hold that 725. Like I was going short 725 all afternoon if it made that break. I showed you guys that break a couple of days ago and that support level. The fact that it closed above, you get that gap to the upside. Now you're looking for this. It's 840 here is the double top on ORF. You can round up to 850, which makes some sense to me here, but a lot of times maybe you just don't want to miss out on the move. I'm kind of inclined to move the stop to that 840. Now I was going to put it at 850, but I'm not sure it makes too much sense, guys. ORF, it's a pure momentum style play. At the end of the day, Goldman, do they still hold the shares that they say that 5.8%? You didn't have the good news, obviously, with the drug and the FDA. But at this point, I think you're just seeing that bounce off support and becomes pure momentum. So the 840 break is firmly in play for me. That 725, if it can't hold, it was a short for me yesterday. I'll be bearish below that price if we get there today, but it's still got to put over a 10% move back to the downside for that to happen. We'll talk about GT. The GTT is not on our watch list. It is a gapper. We'll talk a little bit about that one. It's one of those, like, I'm short. It's sort of sliding down into the money right now. If it tests closer to that 315, we'll get back into that one as well. But ORF, I think you got to look at that 840 long.
Hey, Rita, thank you. I'm not the best. You are the best. But yeah, we will continue to always lift up the trophy, guys, because there's another one for you. Look at this banger right now on Clove. Great call. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you for everything, man. Thank you to everybody there. Wow, Clover, boom. Let's go, let's go. I mean, this is what we do. This is why we sit here every single day. We put out the sticky note for absolutely for free. I talked about it. And there goes Clover, man, straight to the upside. That's just, I don't know. Are we lucky that we get that news? Of course, but again, we don't take it if it doesn't break it. It does. And then now we are just absolutely laughing. Look, I'm not going to close the platform, but hey, you have this trade. You don't need to make many more here today. So congratulations, anybody that has that one. And if you want another banger, I'll give you one again. Orphazyme through $9. So watch out for this one to break through $9. The stop order is already in there. So if you want to be part of the team and part of the gang, let's go gang, breaking through $9 on Orphazyme. We like it. We like it a lot. We also like QuantumScape through $30. Let's go. There's a nice little bid there on Orf.
Lots of breaking news, guys. Another one here, Laser Luminar Technologies just popping up. Big move, actually. I'll show you in a second here. But to be standard on Volvo cars forthcoming for EVs. Watch Luminar here up big time, just popped from 2260 up to 25, guys. So another one on the move here early on. So a busy morning shaping up here. Let's continue. Torchlight. There's so many of these. What do we think about Torchlight today, guys?
Oh, just watch that ALF just broke down through 12, so it's making a move towards that low of the day. Just worth noting. A lot of movement happening pre-market, as you can obviously tell. Look, Torchlight, and I don't think there was anybody here that. Oh, my daily chart doesn't want to load. We'll go to the 15. I don't think there was anybody here that was extremely bullish about this one after the initial fade. And we're looking at shorts, and we're shorting this one pretty much all the way in. Yesterday, I did say have a look at 480 to 5. I think that's probably where the only level of support was going to be. 450 to 5. And you're going to get that bottom put in, essentially. You got 463 and change here. Right now, we're looking at a 475 bottom. So this is the kind of situation where some people might, look to get the move going again is the best way to put it. So you have a nice little low here at 460. I think you almost give it to like a 450 area. It does have a 5 even style break. I'd almost prefer if it had tested a little bit closer to that bottom at this point, just given the fact it hasn't had too much time to coil up, but the volume is pretty good. It's done over 2 million shares in the pre-market, so it's not like it's making this low on zero volume. So I think it's going to be worth it a little bit here, guys, to take a look at that torch. I don't necessarily love a 5 break. I mean, I want that clover. I'm looking at breaks potentially on Wish, potentially I want on Orphazyme. To add Torch as the weakest name to the list right at 930, I don't want to be sitting in 3 breakouts potentially off the open. We'll fix that position. But I am actually in GTT, by the way. I'm short 309 here on GTT. It's right at like 303. We'll get to that one in a bit.
Torch, yeah. I mean, we looked at Torch yesterday. It's not on my list today. I'm not super interested in it. We were long Torch yesterday at 5 and change, and then we were able to get some out on the. Yeah, we went long. Oh yeah, here it is, right here. Some of my trades are loading up. So there's in, out, and then out. So it was like a flat trade. I think it was a little negative off that because of that last average in, and then we break through 5, and then we break through that 480. So that is a key level there, 480. So that was my trades on Torch yesterday, and we could see it bottom out right now. But again, some of these companies that I don't really understand what's going on with, I just want to stay away, and I only want to look short. So we do have some names. It's not on the sticky note. There's a lot of names on there: Clover, Neo, Alf, Orf, Palantir, AMD, BlackBerry, Facebook. So there's a whole bunch of, or what's on there? No, it's that's it. Yeah. So as we go, I don't like Torch, and it's just not on my radar for today.
Okay, let's go to Tesla. 7-week high yesterday. Huge move for Tesla. If you remember, it was the leader in the automotive section for the group yesterday, moving higher. But we're back in positive territory. It has come off a little bit here in the pre-market, guys, but very strong on volume so far for Tesla.
Anyone want to guess where we think the dip in Tesla might stop if it has one? Come on, you guys got to say 666. Look, we don't get a chance to test that level yesterday. Look, the break happened at 635. It was a complete keystroke error. I wish I could say that I just didn't cross up far enough, but the intention was to cross 50 cents on a breakout, which in Tesla, $600 stock, is kind of near that minimum if you want to secure shares on a break. You're continuing this move. If you go to the daily, this is what's been happening, right? Like, you've been making that bottom. We talked about this yesterday. You get that final breakout at 635. I mean, that's set up so nice. It's kind of shameful, really, realistically, to kind of miss out on a trade like that one. But you're looking for, if you get a continuation, 700's on the radar. There's no question about that. But first things first. I mean, this market, I keep saying, is getting to that top heavy level. I just feel like there's going to be one day where they try to wash out off the open on some of these tech names. If that happens here today, I'm ignoring this little wick. I'm going right back to the thesis that 666 is a bit of a number. And if we do get that kind of a drop in Tesla, I want to be picking that one up on any kind of a dip through. I don't have an obvious breakout price here today for Tesla. I mean, 680, I mean, it will probably stand out there. It does feel like it's setting up to me that it's going to be the dip buy. So that's what I want to do here on Tesla.
Yeah, again, Tesla, Ford, GM, the only names I would look at right now, obviously breaking through there. I think this is a great opportunity for a long-term trade. I think you can buy Tesla right now, hand over fist if you want to, and then you do have some bottoms, 600, 540, things like that. I mean, I know the NASDAQ's rocking and rolling right now. It's been quite a great run for the for the NASDAQ, and then, Microsoft, Facebook, Apple, Google, they're all joining, and then so Tesla now finally starting to get part of the story. Amazon, so they're all starting to break out, and in my opinion, man, Tesla has a hell of a lot more to go. I think the next stop for Tesla is all-time highs. So between 800, I think we go to 800 soon. So I mean, I could put out a thing right now. Do you want to see 600 before 800? I would choose 800. So let's watch out here. And I did the same thing on Bitcoin when it was at 32. I said 41st. It went to 41st. So I think that there's a good little run potential here in Tesla. I like it. But for a day trade, I mean, you're already up here. It's already up 3%. I don't like the breakout of 678. I won't make any keystroke errors, but they are easy to do, especially on Tesla when you have all these different prices. So just be very, very careful with what price you want. Back down to 660 looks pretty good as well, but I don't think we closed the gap today. The NASDAQ's huge. So, I mean, what is this? This is 675. That's pretty clean. It's only 913 right now, guys. So, I mean, to start to talk about some of these levels on Tesla, I think is a little tricky, but the day's high, 677. If the NASDAQ spikes, you're probably going to get this break. And then the next stop after that, honestly, like, we could see 700 today, guys. So get ready if you're long Tesla, have some outs, but I think you got to hold at least part of it.
All right, another day and more news for Palantir. They're teaming up with AI pioneer data robot to work on some forecasting AI work. So another one, speaking of breaking out here, Sean, Palantir, yesterday was a pretty impressive day. Here we are now back above 2650.
Look, we keep talking about Palantir every single day, and I like it, and I like to talk about it. And it's not to talk about position. We already know it. I'm not selling anything for a long time here on Palantir. So it's just been straight to the upside. Another deal today. We tweeted it out earlier. I don't even remember. We were talking about too many stocks. Yeah, AI, Pioneer Data Robot. So yeah, more moves to the upside for Palantir today. If you're going to look at some levels, where are they? I wrote down here that we've been talking about this forever. 2650 back is what we have written down, or the 27 break. So we are right back to 2650 right now. The reason why we like that level, let me just call it up. I still like QuantumScape, but it's not really going up anywhere right now. I'm not in it, but still watching that 30 level on QS. 2650. So this is a 20-minute chart. I like to look at this for Palantir. It gives us a little bit better of an idea for these baselines. So all the way back to 2550 would be sweet if we got that. That's been some support down there. And then as you break, like right now, 2640 is the bottom of this morning. And I just want to see back to 2650. We're back there right now. Because we're here so fast, I think a better long is probably yesterday's close, 2622, 2630, something like that. So let's see if we get a pullback. The moving averages were way up there right now. So look, man, I'm loving Palantir, but we got to be very, very specific with our prices. It will follow the NASDAQ, so we could get a little bit of bump back down here. My orders are ready to lock and load. They are locked and loaded at 2650 and 2630. And by the way, Clover is still, guys, you know, a big little win for us as we watch out for Clover firing off the hot dogs. Look where we are now. 1520, guys, off a 1540 break. So Clover right now touching the high of the day, up in the money, 70 cents on this one. We're going to go one for one, and then we're going to wait for that Palantir.
I will quickly jump in. I mentioned you guys have been in that GTT. It did make a gap up here overnight. 335 was that top. You've seen this setup over and over again. You get the gap to the upside. Immediately when retail starts to come in, it gets sold off, and then you get another lower high. Then I want to see a failure at 7 o'clock. I then short off of that higher low that got put in. So I got a 310 short. I actually been taking some out in front of 3, and then I'm going to try to take some in front of 295, and then from there, I mean, some in front of 290, some in front of 285. Going to repeat that pattern, but on ORF, by the way, that did make that break. RPH broke that 1340. I ended up getting 44s on the trigger. Instantly, there was an iceberg order at 47. The second I saw that, remembering that 50 was my original stop break, and I just liked the pre-market high better, I ended up taking some, just trimming the position, take a third out so I have less risk on. If it wasn't the pre-market, I wouldn't necessarily do it, but that's why I take it just a little bit out when I saw that iceberg. It's then broke, tested back below here to that 839, that 840 area, and is now holding the top end of the range. So I am into ORF. Just got that position on the little bit of a break, and of course got that GTT as well, Brendo.
All right, Carnival is out, guys. They just, it's just coming out as we speak here. If you want to go to my screen there, Robbie, I can show you a couple of these headlines. It looks like their cash burn rate in the first half of 2021 was better than forecast. Overall net loss of 2.1 billion versus 2 billion for the total net loss for Carnival. So heads up on CCL. It's not really doing much. Tested lower. We're right back to the upside, but they reported a loss as expected for CCL. So we will continue along here. Let's talk about what is the next one here we're going to get to. I don't think we're quite there. Yeah, let's talk Beyond Meat first. Beyond Meat yesterday, if you remember after market, there was a bit of news involving Dunkin' Donuts. So their sausage breakfast product, whatever it's called, alternative sausage product was removed from some, not all, some, not all Dunkin' restaurants nationwide. It was hundreds, so they are still involved in Dunkin' Donuts, but a bit of a down move aftermarket for BYND.
Yeah, and sometimes you look at those aftermarket moves for in earnings to see where those bottoms might be. In this particular case, it wasn't necessarily earnings, but you go all the way back. Let's look at that floor here. It was previously 142.70 that was holding over and over again, and then right over here you got like 142 even. So I'm staring that one straight in the face. You do have I mean, some lower highs that have been put in on the way to this move while maintaining that 142 level. So it's not a super strong setup because these have been extending back into 150, but 142 is a level on Beyond Meat. And if it takes that one out, I'm going to look for the short side of that particular trade. Still basically flat on that little ORF, guys. It's not really making too much movement off of that break, but one of the reasons why you got to take it out right away. If I see iceberg orders in the pre-market standing in front of a position that I have, and I have the chance to lighten the load and maybe think about trimming it off, and then you take more off the open. That's one way to do it. That's one thing to do to risk manage in the pre-market. But 142, big level. If that breaks on Beyond Meat, I think there's some downside action.
I'm never going to forget it because we were here with Arun this day when I actually stamped on there a buy for Beyond Meat down here at 110. We actually went long at 112.50. So it was really this break of the day right there. That's 112.50. That's where we went long and exploded it to the upside. It was a big winner for us that day. Now we're sort of hovering around here on Beyond Meat. Not very much volume at all today, 55,000. So for me, it's an absolute nothing burger, pardon the pun.
All right, just reading a note from our friend Mark Roberts, sending us some details on the amount of volume that retail traders are doing currently, which is huge. Let's talk about Eli Lilly real quick. We are coming back to 232, which was the first kind of support area that we tested in the pre-market. Robbie, if you can, there we go. This area is what I was talking about. So their Alzheimer's drug was given orphan status by the FDA. That has Biogen, guys, also down sharply. So more competition coming in.
Underlay, mummy. Eli, what's popping today? I can't say tonight because it wouldn't be right. It's today. Eli Lilly, this is his name. Remember when Biogen made that move and we're like, Eli Lilly makes way more sense here. Just take advantage of it that way. Fair enough. If you did or you didn't, I mean, I'll show you my dip buy bid there, of course. But you're seeing a sustainment of this break since that 215. You're holding that low. Now I'm more concerned with that recent higher low here that you can see on the daily chart. I can show it off here on the 15-minute. That's going to be like 227.80. I've already parked a bid in front of it. This is the thing. We'll talk you through like where some of these levels sort of come up with. I'm going to be bullish on an Eli Lilly here to take advantage of it. But this is a kind of situation where I'm not just going to take any kind of fill. Like I don't want to blindly punch in at the high of the day. Some stocks are going to be like, I want the breakout of momentum. Sometimes it'll be a meme name or a depressed name that has room to run. In the particular case of Eli Lilly, I'm anticipating that you'll move into this range, which we have, reject a little bit, some profit taking, get you through this floor here at 232, and then we can catch a bounce here off of that 227.80. I mean, I'm sitting in front of 288 on that little play. So throw that into the bucket with like a Tesla trade where I want to catch a dip buy at a very specific price range. That's what I'm looking for in Eli Lilly. It's done pretty solid pre-market volume for it. Close to 1 million shares it'll get to. But either way, I want that dip buy.
There goes some dip buys in Microsoft. We did a great one. Again, I don't know if see, it's not going to show. I don't know. Some shares are showing yesterday's trade, some not. But we'll wait for a dip buy in Microsoft as well to the downside. It's been just a monster to the upside lately. So Microsoft taking out all-time highs every day, it seems like. So 267 coming on Softy. I've already got some bids lower in the 265.50 area. That's going to be too low. I mean, we just took off even again. So maybe 266 and change. We'll put another bid there. Low side on Microsoft. Let's see if we can't catch another $1.50 like we did yesterday on Mr. Softy.
I gotta go. We'll do power up there because ORF finally goes. I mean, it made that test back in. Forget about the iceberg. It's gone now. I took some out in the cluster just on an 850 break, and now it's headed towards that 9 even. I should quickly show you guys that the 15-minute chart and zoom it in because that's so ridiculous. In addition to this is right about $9. It did spike to 940 twice. So that is like, I'm usually going to be shorting something like that. So I'm likely flat on something like an ORF after taking this trade out into that range and then hunting for a potential short opportunity. And that also might give you a dip buy off of a 940 level. So ORF, nicely in the money. I still don't have anything for like the opposite. It's not ORFing all over itself because I feel like that's a negative term. But it's certainly looking like it's rebounding after yesterday's low. 725 was such a great hold on that ORF. We talked about it in the afternoon show. That was actually a bullish sign for the stock.
All right, busy morning, lots of opportunities, potential opportunities. Keep in mind both NASDAQ and S&P potentially all-time highs again today. Marin Software here still up 70%. I mentioned 3. If you go back on the daily chart, $3, very clear, obvious level. We're kind of bouncing Back and forth through 3 right now, although it is coming back to the downside. But any hold of 3 probably sees the top being taken off. But if it holds below 3, this thing has a long way to go. We were trading down here, 170, 175. They announced Instacart integration into their platform yesterday, guys.
Instacart, eh? Okay. We haven't looked at the imbalance locator yet. There's really nothing on there. Oh, yeah, by the way, this reminds me about another name here, DocuSign. You know, again, we talked about this over and over again, and I don't have a problem giving you guys long-term plays. I do it every single day. And, I mean, like, remember when there was earnings and it was down here and I was talking about DocuSign and, you know, getting long in the 200s, breaking through the 50-period moving average, even if you got long 235, 236, something like that. By the way, look where DocuSign is right now. So, yeah, man, I mean, we'll hit the bangers. Put it in the chat if you remember me telling you guys about DocuSign. We also talked about Zoom at 3:30. Let's check out where Zoom is. I mean, there it is again. Like, we talked about all of these names when they were down here, man. Zoom down. I mean, it was 323, something like that, down in here when we talked about this. So again, how about another 15% in a week or 2 weeks for Zoom? And then how about the same thing, if not more than that, obviously, here on DocuSign. So there's another banger for you. So not only are we giving you the winners, I think I've had 11 negative days this year in the market. We're also giving you, you know, these bangers for the long-term play. So hopefully you enjoy everything, man. We're also just took a little break to get some fruit salad. Today's sponsored by Cantaloupe and Pineapple. So now we're refreshed, we're hydrated, we're ready to go. Shout out to you, Shakib. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, Brendan said this. There's a ton of good pineapple around here. I'm still watching CCL not move, guys. It's and shout out to Daryl. You talk. This is a stock that, and we always talk about stick to what works for you. And one of our members, Daryl, trades CCL a lot. I know we like to look at it, and I'm 100% with you. I mean, we're looking at these 15-minute charts and then showing you some key levels here on earnings. If you're not going to make a break, 27.75, that's a key. It's been like 3 times it's been tested. If you want to include that crazy dip that we had a couple of days ago here. And then, you know, you're trying to look for that upside move. It is doing absolutely nothing. Probably look out for the call there to cause some momentum in the stock. It's just very, very sleepy. I kind of thought CCL would give us some moves going into the open. We're 3 minutes away, and CCL is an absolute sleeper, guys, just a sleeper.
Well, it hasn't reported yet, so we're going to wait for that coming out. 10 o'clock it reports. Was that for Brendan? What up?
Yeah, no, we mentioned, Sean, the earnings are out. Snap, guys, real quick. There's another headline here. They're expanding their current agreement with Universal Music, so it did pop up through 68 there. Now almost 3% for Snapchat.
What, the earnings are out? I don't see those earnings out for CCL. Okay, what is it? What were they?
It was a loss. It was $2 billion versus 2.1.
Oh, okay.
Their cash burn rate was better than expected, though.
Okay. So good for that. It must have been when I was getting ye fruit salad. So we will look at CCL. Clover, Palantir, a lot on watch here. Another name that we talked about is on the watch list. Sorry, on my sticky note, not on the watch list. We got to clear that up on the daily, so we'll get back to that. But AMD, I still like a long downside. We saw it dip yesterday to the exact levels that we wanted it to, man. We talked about 83.15 yesterday, 83.20, 83.30 as this consolidation. It dipped down there off the open and then ripped off, right? And we talked about DocuSign, we talked about Zoom. And yeah, guys, I'm going to stay hydrated. I'm all in this, so I'm here for you guys. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. And then that was another call, DocuSign, AMD, and then, you know, how about our NVIDIA call posted on Twitter? Like, nobody else is doing this, right? Posted on Twitter, 604 long, and that was just a couple weeks ago. So, or not even, I don't think. Yeah, I guess it was off earnings, right down here, 604, when they announced the triple split, or the, what is it, 5 for 1? Split, reverse split, or 8 for 1, whatever it is, doesn't matter. I think it's 5. Straight to the upside. We called NVIDIA down here as well. So, I mean, this is why people saying I need to get a pool. Maybe we need to get a pool faster than we think. We just got into Microsoft right now, 266. It just did dip down. So that's the first leg of that dip. So we'll take it in there at 266.10. We still are waiting to see if Microsoft falls back in to these levels. So it's a relatively light position. Look, if I can take this out up here, this time I'm going to do it and not wait. So 266.90, if we can get out of that, we will on Microsoft and then celebrate yet again another big win. So 266.90 is going to be our out here on Softy, guys.
VWAP Trader always wants to see like the gift horse thing, like don't look a gift horse in the mouth. But I mean, I just did on ORF because I mean I got an order up here to get to that 940 range, looking to see it test that 9 even. I possibly looked at gift horse in the mouth as it rolls over at 8. Kind of a number is 888. Is it just triple eights? That's actually, yeah, whatever. If we get a pullback and retest that 840 and catch another bounce, I think that can be a nice little reload point. Now, I don't care too much about VWAP this early in the session, but you happen to have it down there at 835 as well. So ORF does come back. I looked the gift horse in the mouth when it had like a 50-cent move to the upside, but it is now maintaining this level at 865 where we took some out there, guys. I know Workhorse is on the move. We talked a little bit about that one for the potential on the dip. And then I still am going to be looking at that Tesla dip as well. And MRIN, for those of you, we didn't talk too much about it. This looks very, very bullish to me. If it gets and holds below 290, watch out for like a 270-ish area break. You had a break support there, guys. So it looks pretty bullish for me. I would be very, very cautious if you're shorting this one near the top. Miss V is on the bell, and I feel pretty good about saying we're not going to need the pink. Well, so we're not going to need the green today. She is in the pink. We're not going to need it. The market looking pretty strong so far this morning. Time to drop that countdown. Lots to watch as we get towards this Thursday. I almost said Wednesday. 3, 2, and 1. Ring it, Miss V.
All right, so we're into Palantir here already. We're long at 53s. It's printing 66s right now. Let's see where it goes. Now the market's open, so now we get to see where some of these names go. Look at the NASDAQ coming to the downside right here, guys. There's Microsoft. You just picked it up again on a low bid, so let's see if we get some out there at 21s or so. Bang! Another monster winner, 75-cent winner there for Microsoft. Let's see if we go to the upside now. We take that low bid again and then bang that one out. Microsoft, a big win, guys, big win.
And here comes Clover retesting that 1450 area right into, well, I mean, VWAP doesn't necessarily matter at this particular time, but right back into that dip. It had like 1472 here on the way back to the upside, so I'm going to catch the dip buy, which we said we'd look for. Can the 50 hold? That's going to be that key one there. ORF, it bounces. I was looking at this Clover at the same time, but ORF just tried to bounce off 840 as well. And I'm going to be looking obviously at Tesla, but there goes CCL. It just broke to the upside as well. Movement happening, guys. CCL.
Yeah, okay, guys, $1 in the money on Softy, still going. You see we're along 265.51. That's a nice trade for us. Clover, 30 cents in the money. Palantir, just chilling, man. It did go up to the high side there, but we didn't get any love on Palantir upside. We are offering 69, so we are long that name and still looking to make some damage on that. NEO, we can check out that one as we check out our sticky note to see where we're going with that. NEO, ooh, not open yet. So when NEO opens, we'll take a trade on that one. But so far, so good, guys. Palantir, Clover, and Mr. Softy.
And Tesla, there's an ugly set of wicks there. Apologies for that one, guys. Tesla makes a move down to 670. Obviously, 670 is not 666, so we're not in Tesla just yet. I think it can continue. That's potential for a bit of a dip buy. That's a trend we're looking to have happen here. Clover holding around that 75.80. I picked up some 82s in front of that 50. I'll add one more time. And then ORF is now just holding 850, so I want to reload that one as well. I want to make sure I got the order out there before I flipped. I want to make sure I get the fill. I know we talked to you guys and live trade as well, but it made that bounce. I want to make sure I caught some shares when it got back above that 850 level. So we said we'd buy the dip in Clover and ORF. ORF working out for me, but I didn't have that Clover trade. It was in the bathroom at 1450. It's trying to hold that level as well. ORF off to the races. It just got back that 888. Hopefully it can break through. You can see my orders out in front of that 940 level already. I think that could be the turn, so I want to cover around that 925 if it makes that move.
What's up, Beep?
Big bounce here for Snapchat, guys. We did get sellers right off the bat, 68 to 67, but volume alert there at 67, heading back to the upside for Snap.
Okay, and we're just like snapping off the winners as well, so we'll go bang for the winner on Microsoft as we go. Look at this long, man, 265.50 down there. Like, this is what happens when you pick the right stocks, the right names at the right time. So there it goes now. Big time movement to the upside here for Microsoft and still making moves, guys. So that's going to be a big win for us right there, like a huge one, like a really huge one. And then there we go. We just get a new position, 3130s on Bed Bath & Beyond. So there we go. A little movement up to the upside here. We'll see what happens. It ripped up huge for us. 3130 long on Bed Bath & Beyond. Let's see if we get this one out in the 60s, guys. What up, Beep?
Deutsche Bank, guys, liking MGM today. What pandemic? Look at this chart of 5%. Wow, just broke 45 on a huge volume spike there for MGM. This is all-time highs, if you can believe that.
Oh, wow. Monster move in MGM, guys. Tesla's $3 away from coming in, guys. And I still have that GTT, which is continuing to flush itself down the toilet. Every day there's usually, it's not every day, but most days there is something I'm sitting in the pre-market, and you know exactly what the setup is. I describe it for those of you that are new every single time. You get to move off the open. If it ever retests that level that I'm shorting, like that 310 area into that 315, I'm usually going to reload at 930, but it never even made that move. It is just defecating all over itself, as you can see here.
Yeah, spin it, because now it's time.
Money.
You know, I mean, this happens all the time, but there's a nice little trade there for Bed Bath & Beyond. So long 31.30 off the break on the sticky note, out right there at 60. So that's another 30-cent winner for us there. So right now, Clover coming back in, Microsoft coming back in a little bit, still dollar there on Softy, but we kill it again there on that Bed Bath & Beyond. Let's see how far it goes. Now, look where we are, man. Slaying dragons left, right, and center over here. 32.30 is $1 in the money, so we'll see how high it can fly from here, but we are liking everything about this Bed Bath & Beyond. A nice little move to 32.30. We should try to see about where to get out. What was that high right there? 33.30? Okay, so if we get up to 33, then we have a play.
And it was just the break of that low of the day on Beyond Meat. It broke 142. We talked about that multi-day level. I got slipped to 75 here. Spread opened up a little bit, so it's essentially right at that 142 range. You have cover back into this lower, this other low that it had here at 143, and we're looking to see if we can't get down to that 140 mark. There was a dip already once in ORF. This is now the second time. I'd zoom back in here for you guys. Now the second time it's making this move. If this can't get towards 9, we'll just go ahead and cover this one in front of 9. Look, 888, now 895. It's trying to make the move into 9 even. I think we're going to go with, 940 I think is that double resistance anyway, so you don't want to look that gift horse mouth. You want to make sure you take profit. At this particular point, no point buying the dip at 840. If it makes another move and fails off of this high, and you still want to be bullish, you got to wait for like an 8 even or something along those lines. So ORF, still pretty strong, but starting to fade out a little bit, and we've been holding on for that bigger move.
Yeah, there goes Softy, $1.15 now in the money and still taking it out, man. We don't want to get out of this. We want to wait to see what happens with Softy on the upside right now, 270. I don't know. I mean, if 270 comes, that's fantastic, but we're going to wait to see where that goes. This is a daily chart. I don't think we're going to get 270 today, but here we go, man, right to the top side. You see where we're long, and I told you, you don't need many of these trades to be a successful trader. So there we go, right up to the upside, man. We're pretty huge today, obviously. You've seen us go 4 for 4 here, but let's just wait. Actually, no, Palantir is still position pending. This is where we wanted to. Man, this is not a heavy spot. We're going to load up very, very soon on Palantir down into the 20s, guys, maybe even right now. What up, B?
Another early mover here. Skills ripping, guys. We just had day high taken out there, pre-market high taken out there, 2020. Big volume coming into SKLZ.
Skills pay the bills. That's what it's all about here, guys. And just to go back over to that CCL, I know they reported the earnings. It had that spike up to like 28.50. There is resistance. I think Daryl even mentioned this one, I think, in the chat. So good luck to you at 28.80. We've turned shy of that now. We're heading right back in. And obviously, you're going to see that support. Well, it was resistance a couple of times here, like 28.30, mild, just in the last couple of days. As you dip back into that price, we get that bullish look off of earnings. You're probably looking at that 30 for a bit of a bounce play on CCL. Clover is bouncing around that 14.50 area. That's the original breakout price. I want to see if I can catch some of that party.
Yeah, so we're still, Clover, we're right back in. So we only got at a half of that one, so we're going to wait for that one as well. I'm just really focused on Microsoft right here. We tried to pick up some more Palantir in the low 40s, but we did miss that. Should have picked it up instead of talking about it there, but we did miss that trade on Palantir into the low 40s. So there it comes right, oops, I just canceled the orders. There it comes right back, I hit the wrong key, right back to the upside and now in the money here on Palantir. So we may scalp a little bit of this off here as we notice Palantir coming back to the upside, but we still have a 60. There it is. Like, wow, look at the NASDAQ going right now, guys. Good opportunity to take Palantir off. And then there's another one. Spin it for this, man. I mean, we're just loving life right now with our friend Microsoft. So let's see how high that one can fly. Damn it, I'm really a little pissed off that we missed that Palantir bottom, but we'll get that back again. Let's get some out in the 60s if we can. Nice move upside for NASDAQ there, guys.
Now, the NASDAQ making its move. Now, obviously, Tesla goes, look at it. I mean, this is going to be a sickening one. I'm in front of that 666, 667 on the dip, guys. So it holds that support level. I was probably I was definitely way too greedy trying to get the perfect price, but look at Tesla slowing down off of 675, so can't break yet the high of the day here at 675. That likely gives us a chance at another dip, and if it makes that dip, I'll go in front of the current low at 667, 70 or so. And then, look, we'll forget about those wicks. Apologize for those. You're looking at like a 68 or a 669 on the next little dip as long as it comes here. It has failed off the opening range top. Looks like we'll go for another dip, just a little bit more aggressive this time on Tesla. Brendan?
Not seeing anything yet, guys, but Lemonade, big move here, 4.25% for LMND through 112 there, trying to get above some of these daily levels for Lemonade.
I'm going to get out of Microsoft if we break down below 266.75. So we definitely want to make sure we put $1.20 in our pocket on this trade. So we're going to wait for that one. Yeah, we didn't get anything out of Palantir, so it'll give us a good chance to reload here on some of these dips. Hopefully we can get back into the 40s, and then we will reload the PLTR trade there. But other than that, we're looking at, NEO's getting very close to that 46.50 level. That's a good breaking spot for that. I like to go long NEO, 46.50 off of, I think it was a couple of highs. Yeah, was it yesterday's high, 46.50? We'll do a little more research to find out about that one, but I thought I liked NEO at 46.50. I'll find out why.
You've got to be kidding me. Remember when we said, like, we talked about Snapchat, and it was like, pull back into that 66.50 area, that close. This is my bid. The blue dot is exactly where, whatever, it is what it is. The blue dot is when I put it in. It just dipped down, missed me by like 5 cents. So level good, bounce good, exactly like Tesla, missed by a couple of cents. This is the thing. If I'm not sitting here watching and trading CCL and then, watching ORF and then Clover, which is still holding that 14.50 area, probably gonna notice this get to the downside. And instead of waiting for your perfect price, you just go ahead and cancel the order and cross the spread. Take that extra 10 or 15 cents so you can again counter this move. Now, much like Tesla, it's not breaking through that pre-market high in Snapchat. And because of that, it gives you another chance to maybe catch this dip, put in a higher low. So I'll go with the dip buy, rinse and repeat of Tesla here, a little bit more aggressive in front of that low of the day instead of actually trying to catch that 66, oddly enough, 666 level, 66.60.
So XL Fleet, we talked about this every day because, again, it's another one of my decent-sized positions that I have on board in the swing account here. We call it TFSA in Canada. Look at this, man. $9. I don't know, Brendan, is there news? 7% plus today on XL Fleet. So that's a big mover for me. I mean, super, super happy with the way that one's moving. And then NVIDIA, still undefeated champion of the world. NVIDIA, now another 52-week high today, touching 775 for NVIDIA, man. That 604 call is hot fire. And by the way, we're going to throw to Brendan in a minute. Microsoft right now, $2 in the money. Give it to him, Bren.
Yeah, good call on XL Fleet here. Rubicon, they're teaming up with Rubicon to bring the company's electric fleet to Rubicon's network. So yeah, deal for XL Fleet.
Oh, hell yeah. No chance of getting out of this one, man. I'm going to hold this. We did hold it all the way down against us there. We talked about where we got in. We got in rate. I'll never forget this day because we got in on the pre-market at $8 and then it was ripping upside like crazy. $10.80, $10.90, $11. And then it closed that day still up, but like at $8.50. And then it just started to go down, down, down. And we reloaded it on some of these breaks. 6. I believe my average price $7.75. So look, if XL Fleet gets to $10, which it almost did there, well, it's at 9, 10 is the high, then we will get some out probably at 10. It's a very, very large position. So XL Fleet, a good trade.
I see you guys, MRIN, it made the move to the upside. I said that it was a pretty bullish one. Stay away from the short. Was my look? It's a gap up style trade, and the ones that don't look good, I'm always going to say stay away from it. Bouncing off you up now, but $3 is the real thing that matters here. If it holds above that 3, you're still in that bullish look. There is a chance, and I'm going to go to the daily chart so you can quickly see. This is 350. This is a level that I want that failure at. Always go back in the daily chart for some of these movers, and it dipped up to 344. If it comes back and fails again, then I believe in the short opportunity up to that price. 350 is your stop. Always go to that higher time frame, guys. That's what it's all about here. So MRIN making that move, Marin, into this high. It might not get there, but if it does, I'm going to now be shorting it in front of 350.
We may have to adjust our softy stop here. I mean, we're just so much in the money right now on this Microsoft. I think we got to put it back to 267-ish instead of 75. So a nice little win here. We might just take this $2 off, guys, right now on softy. I mean, this is such a big win here. I'm debating just saying, you know what, forget it. Let's get out of this one and run away from it. So a good move upside, but the NASDAQ's still going. So we'll hold on to it for a bit, but we are a little hesitant here as we realize how high this one is right now. We just got into NEO on a 53 break. We talked about taking that, so let's see where it goes from here. But NEO right now on a nice break through 50s. We are long what are we long at? 53. So break through 50. Let's see where we go on NEO. Hopefully high side here, guys.
Yeah, I mean, Clover made that nice little dip. It holds that 1450 area. You get the break to the downside, bounces right off the breakout price when the news came, goes right above that 50 area again. I'm going to cover some at VWAP so I can play this range a little bit more aggressively. And you got all the way down to like a 1435 as well. So I think we can play this one more patiently here on Clover as it tries to find a bit of a bid. Tesla's still in that range. It hasn't really dipped down to that 670 again. Brendo?
Quickly, guys. TTD, the trade desk, 9%, ripping back through 71 here on volume. Heads up on that. I just saw LASR as well popping up, not LAZR. So LASR is N-Light. So a heads up on LASR, also ripping. That one's in the semiconductor space, but the trade desk, wow.
All right, just getting it loaded up. Yeah, so we're gonna get it out if it goes. Yeah, the trade desk. We love that name. A good advertising name. Lots of stuff happening with the trade desk there. Okay, Microsoft 267 looking for downside there. So if we break through 267, we will put this $1.50 in our pocket and run away from it. We talked about that over and over again, so we will do that. We're getting close to a reload spot here on. No, well, yeah, we are actually. We're gonna. There we go. We just took it. Just got hit, so I didn't even realize that. So Palantir there, we took that 42 long. Now our average price back to 47. So right back in the money now on Palantir. We'll get some out in the mid 50s now. We were waiting at 66 or something because 65 was the high, but it never got there. So Palantir 47 long. Let's get some out in the mid. We have the VWAP at 51. So if we can get some out at 51 and then some out at 55, something like that, I think we're doing pretty good on Palantir. And then NEO bouncing around as well. We'll look to get loaded back up here in the 30s if we can on NEO.
Just got a bit of another dip by there. Come on, load up there, load up. There we go. There's a Clover right here. Another dip right into that 14.25 area. This is exactly where that breakout happened. I mean, really, it's actually 35, but it held 25 the first time. If we catch more in the 50 range, that's where we're going to go, guys. We do have Miss V at the big screen, though, so let's throw to her.
Hey guys, AMD is moving. Do you see any opportunities for yourself in AMD?
I mean, we always see opportunities. I mean, wow, is AMD moving? Hell yeah. We tried to put our bids, well, we did put our bids down low, and then look at AMD just taking off. For all of you, I got to think of a name for everybody that's following the plays that I give out. I don't know, like, we can't use Ape Nation. Obviously, that's gone. You guys think about it, but we'll spin the money, man. AMD, anybody long with me on AMD is laughing right now. Obviously, this daily chart is busted, but AMD had such a great bottom there that we went long, a lot long on. I know Brendan joined on this trade as well. Down here, low 70s. Now we're starting to break back out. So we had some beautiful consolidation levels. I have no idea what it was doing down here. When it was down here, we were talking about it. So a nice little move back to the upside. We love AMD. My call for the year was SMH, so I don't have to go over that chart with you, do I? That was my call back in January, so SMH has been a fantastic call as well. Microsoft just came out as we break back down below. I know the charts are taking a while to switch here. As we take down below 267, but bang, 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 bang. That's how you trade. That's how we make that cash. Hope you guys got that with us. That's softy.
Now this is two tests on Tesla of the high of the day. 678 I see here. Ignore this wick. This didn't actually happen. So look at a 678. Breakout looks like it's a lot better than it was in the pre-market. I wanted to see at least some test of the lower end of the range. We talked about the dip buy, of course, missed it by pennies. Now 678 is the top end. Look for the break on Tesla to get involved. Don't trade it every day, but today looks like a good one. Brendo?
Another volume spike there on laser, guys, coming back towards day highs, but 25.60, 25.5. Pretty big resistance on the daily chart. Remember, big news there. Laser, guys.
All right, there we go. We'll say another one. We'll tweet at DJ Khaled this time with our Microsoft trade here. We're just doing it right now, Trader TV Live. I can show it to you. Here we go. We're just going to tweet it out. Another one at DJ Khaled, another Microsoft win right there. So we tweet that out just so all you guys can try to follow and see some of the levels that we're talking about here and watch it with us. Palantir, where did I put my offer? Did I get it? Yes, we did. There we go. We just got out right there on Palantir. Didn't even see that, but there's an out. We keep our orders right there. Right at VWAP, we talked about that. 47 long, out 51. Now we have more offers to the upside here. If it wants to go, man, we have those. So we're waiting for that. The 60-cent win that we took on Bed Bath & Beyond is now down against us. us 60 cents. It did give us multiple opportunities to get out. We thought this one had a chance to go, and it didn't. So I don't know about this name anymore, but we'll wait to see if there's another level here somewhere to get back long. You could go long off of 30.50. Why don't we do that? Go long off 30.50 here and then see where we go from there. So we're going to take another stab here at BBBY.
Yeah, and speaking of taking stabs, there goes Tesla. It makes that top end break. Obviously, the dip buy would have been fantastic. And you know what? I still like that notion. I mean, if we do fail this break, can't get through that 680. Remember, I've said 680 in the past, and I do like 680 as an overall level. It just didn't show up as well. You can show you that gap at how big it looks. I think there's a sort of smooth sailing if we get past 680 into that 700 range. Does it all happen in one session? That's going to be that key question. So you go from the daily, you look at that 15, it looks absolutely fantastic, and that's why I favor that dip buy. But Tesla is on the break. I got it. We'll scalp some out in front of 80. Look to maybe add on either a dip once I get some out or a potential sequence of breakouts on Tesla. So, you know, it's one of those where I missed the boat yesterday. It's not about forcing the trade per se, but it's about making sure that I'm focused on that name because the opportunity is there. So I scalp some of it out that right now because I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth, but I might be doing so because there was this, look at this range here on Clover. This is a bounce that I should have had because it just went 14.20, and you know that's usually some kind of a level. I don't know why, 4.20. And then gives you a push right back into 14.50. So this time I scalped out here at 60s, but I didn't add anything at 20 last time. If I can catch a 20 bounce, then I'd be looking to get some out in front of that 50 level, rinse and repeat that price action. CCL still holding 27.75. That's that key line in the sand, Daryl. If it can hold that, fair enough. If it doesn't, that's going to be a loser for me as well. Tesla, I like the fact, I mean, this is going to sound counterintuitive, but I like the fact that we just tested that 680 level. So you scalp in front of it, it tests 680, gets very, very close, and then might want to pull back here. So scalp some out. If it gives you the pullback dip buy, then we're hunting back at about the 675 to VWAP area for a bounce, get some more shares back in, and then we have a range to play near the top end because the market is still screaming, and Tesla might give you a chance to buy the dip. I like that combination.
Yeah, Tesla, and it's funny because you're looking at Tesla. I'm just looking at NIO right now dipping in. So we did take a little dip by there on NIO. When we get back from Brendan, we'll discuss where we're going to get out.
Wow, just saw Rite Aid down 13%. We'll look at that too. Corbus Pharma, going back a week or so ago, we talked about this one up on Positive News. Data this morning, their inflammatory disease disorder drug failed. So it was down significantly here, but just made a day high above 170 there on volume. Trying to get back to where we were yesterday, guys.
All right, so yeah, 46, I just got it here. 46, I just put the stop in. I don't even remember what it was now. 45, that's why. 45.70. So I think if we can get in and around here, yesterday's, you know, these tops, if we're going to start testing those tops, man, we don't want any piece of this one. So we will wait on NIO to come through here. We'll take some more bids. Our average price is 42. Like, we're out of the money 11 cents. This is not an issue. But again, we did take that top break on it. Why did we like the top break? It was just, it's been pretty strong here. This is a 20-minute chart. So NIO's been looking pretty nice. Some top sides 47.50s. We knew we'd run into trouble if we got up there, but we're not there yet. So that's an issue for us. But there's the 46.50. It's right here. Like, it was just, you know, I thought we could break it and then, you know, tick out and look at this area, 46.80, 40, you know, 47, something like that. So I just thought that we could break that with the momentum. Strong yesterday into the closed week, but a nice little move. I should have actually, now that I see how weak that was into the close, that's not great, but it did tick upside today. So we'll watch out for NIO, and it's just bouncing around. So we'll take one more average downside around 46 even, and then we'll see about this area right here. If it can't, you know, if it don't hold that, then we're going to get out. So 46.80 right there is an out spot for us on NIO.
I got to shout out. Who was that there? It looked like it was Daryl, the main man. Yeah, you're right. But oh my gosh, Bed Bath & Beyond. Look, Snapchat, of course, missed by pennies that dip by. Missed by pennies on Tesla. And then get reminded about 30 on Bed Bath & Beyond. Now, I do have a lot of positions on at this particular time, right? So, you know, I was just able to sneak this one in as it bounces off of that 30. Looks pretty good there on Bed Bath & Beyond for a little bit of a bounce play. And then, of course, I actually did get out of some of that Tesla, but never got back in. So it did make the move down. And just exactly as you were saying there, Sean, NIO made that move in. I can tell you that wick here down to 675 never happened because I am bidding in front of 76. So there's no chance unless something really strange that should never happen in the markets. It just occurred. I did not get printed through. That was a dark pool print down there. So It's actually leveling off, and the fact that we're consolidating down here might give us a move down into VWAP. I just missed by a wick. And when that happens and it bases out in front of your order, there's no point just keeping that in. If it breaks that level, it's likely to go deeper. So I'd hunt back into VWAP now for that Tesla. But thanks, I just got into Bed Bath & Beyond when we took 30 even. Brendo?
A lot of drug makers on the move. Just seeing AbbVie popping up here at day highs. Nice mover so far. 114 to 116, up about 2% for AbbVie, guys.
Man, AbbVie, man, I'm celebrating that name because we're long in the 60s off of that name. And that just happened in March, man. ABBV. That was a big move down. We talked about that one. That was a great, some blueberries in my mouth. We had some great opportunities in AbbVie back in March, man. Like it's down here. Let's see. It's even going to be lower than that. Yeah, right here. Like this one. I mean, it's crazy. But there was lots of friends that I was talking to, that were in the pharmaceutical area. We loved AbbVie down here. Look at that bottom. 62, 63. We're loaded up on this name, and it's like 4, 5, 6% dividend. So yeah, AbbVie, just a great trade. Great long, and nice. Another 2% today as we keep on ripping upside, man. Bed Bath & Beyond failing through that 30 now, no surprise there. Palantir 26.42, we're still long at, guys. So let's wait to see where we go from there. There goes Bed Bath & Beyond straight to the downside, breaking that 30, and now ting, ding, ding, all the way down. We tried it again there at 30 as well, but there's the breaking spot downside on Bed Bath & Beyond.
And Tesla, oh my goodness, it just made another move up. I was trying to buy that dip, so I cancel, and this is going to happen. We cancel our 680 break, thinking that we're going to get that dip buy, miss out on the dip. That didn't happen, and now we're going to take 680 if it comes again. So if it takes it a second time, we'll actually take the 680 break. Tesla still marching towards that upside. I still hang on to some of the shares we have from the 80s. So 678, I should say. So you're going to see an average price below that 80. Either way, I said there could be some smooth sailing on the way to 700. Does it get there today? I really don't know. But it's a couple of days in a row. Tesla has looked very strong. So we want to make sure we're playing that trend. The trend is always, well, the trend is your friend. Nothing is always true. What I can say, something that is always true is you should never look a gift horse in the mouth. Either when it's coming in your face like this, or as I always say, yeah, the more tame one there. I'll make a point here and use that kind of crazy one in your face because I did do so in Clover at least a couple of times. Like I didn't get out any on this little spike here. I got some of that spike. We now get again in front of 1420, and I'll cover at VWAP. I'll cover above VWAP. I'll cover in that range in front of 15. Just get a little bit more aggressive. But Tesla, the runner, CCL will not hold. Well, CCL might not hold that 27.75, Daryl. If it gets below that one, that doesn't look pretty good. I'm not necessarily reversing short, but it's not looking fantastic for that trade. Torchlight, we did say that it was a possible long today after making that base. Now, I thought we'd test a little closer to 450. That was what I mentioned. I guess it found a bit a little bit higher than that. 5 even going to be an interesting level if it ever pulls back into that. So Tesla's on the run. That's fantastic, but might have missed the boat on Torch when it finally found that bottom. I believe Luis mentioned that as well, that there could be a long. I hope he got that because I know we talked about the long in Torch.
Okay. Yeah, we went long again on Bed Bath & Beyond through $30. So let's wait to see where that goes from here. I still do like it. So we'll wait to see where it goes and then if it does anything. Our Cardano still 134. We're watching that one to see if that can go anywhere. I want to pick someone. Now that we've showed that dollar again as a bottom for ADA, I mean, I just want to buy more and more every single time it comes there. Palantir, just chilling out here. It's 10 cents in the money. It's 5 cents in the money. It's whatever. We're waiting to get out on the top side there. We've already cleaned out of half of our position there for a nice win on Palantir. So we'll move on from that and hopefully be able to get a nice little win there if it goes. Bed Bath & Beyond going our Clover. We've just sat in the same trade this whole time. I don't mind the break again if we go through 1467. Some lower buys would have been nice. 1425. We'll look to do that at some point. There goes Bed Bath & Beyond in our Neo trade. Has also reloaded itself down there at 46.25, bouncing off VWAP. We didn't get our bids, man. We were a little bit lower than this. We were at like 46.05 or something like that. Oh no, we were at 46.09, so we almost got a reload downside. That would have been nice as Neo now making its moves back to the upside. What's our average price? 42. So if we can get back here like around 50, 55, we'll take out that dime and then we'll see if the rest can go. But 3 averages in here. We'll do one more time and then we'll see about this bottom break right here. But so far so good. As here goes, hopefully here goes Palantir. If it can break through 50 this next time, we'll get out in the 60s. That's what we're hoping. Fingers crossed on that one.
And we gotta go. We gotta look at GTT here. It's barcoding on me now, so I'm gonna take some more shares out of 280. I'm always gonna be in one of these. Well, I'm usually gonna be in one of these shorts where it's just gliding to the downside. And then there's the 311. I did take some at 7s, 9s, and then at 11. So you'll see my last entry is the average price, but we had multiple entries into this one. But that barcoding is ample reason to cover some of that trade, guys. You absolutely have to do that. Can't hang on forever, although I will try to hang on to the trend as long as it wants to be there. We're gonna go now. CCL is broken 27.75. So I will do this for CCL. It cannot hold that key level. I know we talked about this one getting going off of the open. I'll go back to the 15-minute chart if I can here. This is 27.75. I was averaging all the way down to 27.75. That was going to be the key price for me. Once it breaks, I'm out. So pie in my face on that one. Will it be the same fate in Bed Bath & Beyond? We're going to have to see. I waited for that gap to get filled in. On this move here, we talked about that 30 area. It's still holding down around the bottom, but when you have like a $2 gap like this, you get the hold at 30 even. 20 or 30 cents isn't too much of a concern. The next cluster up is a good 50 to $1 right here, where I think you'd be taking some profit and look back into that 32 range. So this is the trade that we wanted to wait for, was that dip buy. Obviously much better in Snapchat and Tesla, but once it's happened, you got to move on to the next, and on to the next in Tesla was the breakout trades, which we've been able to scalp a couple of times here. Well, I shouldn't say that. Did I just cross my I or T's before? Whatever. I don't know. I probably just counted my chickens before they hatched. I just said, about to get out right here because I got my order to take that next scalp trade in Tesla while holding the core position, and it is touching 5 or 10 cents away from it. And when that happens, you know what you're supposed to do. I should get a little bit more aggressive with it. I was actually sitting at like 44 and I couldn't break 30. While we splitting hairs, I'll just take the 30s out. I want to maintain the core position, give myself a chance to buy the dips, even though, yes, I did miss buying this dip down here. It never got to 75. I was sitting just around that 676 and change. That's a dark pool order there. I'm still long. I want to be net long as long as we're above that 675 area. Once we break that, I hunt back down for my dip buy prices, right? Like that 666, that 668, something along those range. But as long as we're above VWAP, guys, I want to be net long in Tesla.
All right, Palantir still that 8 cents, man. Clover still 17 cents, and then Neo right back. So Neo, good buys down there for sure. Down in the 20s and the 30s as we come back to 40, putting us right back to flat on this position here again on NIO. So we're just going to wait to get that into the 50s here, then see where we go from there. I think it's going to go upside from there is my call. So we'll wait. We do have an offer there though, just in case that doesn't want to go. And then we're watching right now as well, as we have 1 minute chart here on Ethereum trying to go. I wonder if we're going to test that high again of 2,000 at some point. So watch out there for any of the crypto names that you guys may be watching. Ethereum seems like it might want to go here a little bit to $2,000. So you can watch ETHE, Riot, Mara, things like that if you are interested, man. Unfortunately, this is the sleepy stock of the day. Like Palantir, like what are you doing? Like this is just. Thank God we were able to get some low bids there. I'm going to put another one here, see if we get that as well. But I'm just a little nervous with the NASDAQ up 0.8 and this not going. I'm wondering about Palantir right now. We're long at 42. I may take another spot out at 50 there and then just wait to see because, again, we're out of half. We could make it out of 3/4. Just get out and then we'll reinvestigate this when it starts popping. But right now, Palantir's stuck in the range right there. But at the big screen, happening now, I remember the name this time, Brendo. Over at the big screen, let's go.
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock. Let's have a look at North American markets. Nice. Positive board. It's been a while since we've had pretty much everything in positive territory here. 0.5% for the S&P, 0.7 for the Dow. You can see both the composite and NASDAQ 100, 0.8, 0.77 now for the composite. So tech stocks leading once again. The Russell here, small caps up about 0.5% as well. Having a nice day. Also here in Toronto, 0.25% for the TSX. In positive territory. A couple of things we were talking about here. Yeah, Tesla pushing into this range. 700, the next stop on the daily chart, but still a really nice day on higher volume at the bottom there. You can see nice day, 3.5%. So far for Tesla. The other one here I wanted to mention was this one. Yeah, Rite Aid on the bottom of the list this morning. If you pick that up, 1750 broke. We're kind of consolidating underneath it off of earnings, guys. This was higher at one point in the pre-market. Back over to you.
So there was a question here, whoops, my mic is not. There was a question here, and it was about what does looking a gift horse in the mouth mean? So it's an old saying: if someone gifts you a horse, one way to check for the health of the horse was to look in its mouth. And if you get it for free, then you shouldn't be so petty as to look in the mouth because because something wrong with it. Who cares? It was for free. So when I use it here, I'm just more or less saying if you get a good trade and you have the opportunity to cover it at a reasonable level, don't look that gift horse in the mouth. Take some profit, guys. Like if you get a shoot up, like let's say let's say you get like a market spike while you happen to be in a bit of a long. Take advantage of it by trimming some of that profit off. Like that's what it's all about there, guys. It's just a little bit of an old saying. I know we throw some lingo out there all the time. Wanted to get that to you. Or we had the break, and I did look the gift horse in the mouth. I talked about that off of the open. There was some good longs off of that 840 twice, but I hung on to some of those shares. It broke this quarters. We got out. Waited for the dip at 8. I didn't see this one. I didn't think this would actually get tested that fast. It tested right back to 8. I got the long here at 808. Boom, like an 808 actually. And that quarters where I stopped before, that's where I'll start scalping out. I'll get some more out around VWAP because there could be an 850 break looming as well. So ORF, still on the move, just bounced off 8 even. The dip buy working here as well as the breakout earlier.
Yeah, we also got Alphi to the short side as well through 1130. That's straight off the sticky note, so let's see if they can cash in. It goes down to 17 where we're waiting now, so we'll wait to see if we can get out some of that. That is Alf. And then our NEO, I don't know what to tell you, but it's just straight down. The NASDAQ's holding up, so we're definitely not expecting this move. So we're right here. We're right at like a tipping point for that trade. So I may take one more trade, just because of how fast this fell down there. Like, I don't know, maybe there's news, maybe there's something there. You don't ever want to trade blind though on this one. I don't think there's news, but just a nice move down there. So we should have taken a little bit more, but I was just nervous about it. Let's see if it gets back up. Our average price now 30. So all good on that one as we go. So we'll wait to see. Take another little bit of a long down here in the 90s when we can get it. And then we got to get out if it breaks down below here, 45.75. So not looking good for NIO, but looking good for Palantir as we take a nice little long down there at 25.
Yeah, and looks like we got a good out here in ORF. Well, I mean, part of it, I'm still going to hold that core position. You still see me long there, 808, guys. I'm still going to hold some, but we took some out at 825. I'm going to go with the dip buy one more time, but I'd like to get a better price. Not 808, maybe something closer to 8 even. This is the pre-market low here at 785. Sean covered Alpha. I was talking about ORF as well. Look, we both love that same price on Alpha, I don't know, whatever, man. You can call it whatever you want. There's a bit of a bid at 11.15. I'm going to join that bid and see if we can't get a little bit out here, because if it barcodes, and when we say barcode, we just see this. See when a stock is consolidating in a very, very tight range up and down, looking like a barcode back in the day when you actually had to shop for stuff for real. That's what we mean by it. So you get that consolidation, not moving anywhere in a relatively tight range, in a structured range. So maybe it's not doing so yet in ALF, but if it does that, I want to make sure I'm taking some profit out in this range, guys. So there is what I meant by barcoding every time we mention it. So there you go on ALF. The breakout for the now, breakdown I should say for now, has run into some support to that downside, guys.
All right. Basically the only short we have on is that ALF. Clover, though, looking like a little bit of a reload spot here on Clove. You can see that this is where we liked it. We talked about it going down. Is that, yeah, okay, that's right. I was just the wrong price there, but it's the right price. Down to 1380. We were talking about defending this thing down to 1350. This is yesterday's chart. I was trying to find some volume issues like right around here. Yeah, 1370 where the volume starts spiking on Clover right there. So if we can hold 1350, then we're all good on Clover. But a good little spot, I believe, anyways, to start reloading into Clover right near this 14. So let's maybe just do that and put a bid out here, see if we get longer on Clover. What about I don't know, and now it's 05. I don't know, I was gonna buy 06s there. We'll buy 06s. So then there we go. Oops, go over there. We just buy some 06s now on Clover. So let's wait to see where we go. Clover 1405. We're gonna hold this back down to 1350. So hopefully that doesn't come into us. But right now the NASDAQ, I wonder if my chart is wrong. Like the NASDAQ's going upside here when we have NEO and Palantir both testing bottoms. So some of these NASDAQ high flyer names have come off. We can check out Softy. That's going upside. That's right where we got out our last piece there at 367. So looks like the big names are running, not the small ones, guys.
Yeah, I mean, the ES is faltering a little bit here, and it's not really moving too much as well. So, I mean, the NASDAQ it's not across the board that you're getting those spikes. I just said I was going to get that. Well, I'm not just said, but I had mentioned I was going to get a dip buy as well in Tesla. That's why we're scalping some of it here. But it comes down to like 77s. I keep thinking we'll get close to VWAP or 76, and it just doesn't happen. And at some point, if we don't make this break towards 85, you know, you're going to stand in front of this and it's going to really flush back down and not even hold VWAP. So running out of time to catch a good price on a dip buy, I am hanging on to what we got here, which is that last 80 entry because we've taken the small profit on each of the other longs before it. I'll try the dip buy here one more time. I'm not at the point of reloading in Clover yet. I mean, you had an 85 close on this yesterday, so I kind of feel like 85 to 14 could be the bottom end area on Clover, and I want to see it bounce into that range before I add any more off that 1450. So I've only actually had 1450 in that range on Clover. Tesla's what I'm looking at next year off this 76 area.
Okay, yeah, I was looking, yeah, good call there on Tesla, obviously. I'm trying to look at this Palantir. Yeah, okay, so here we go. Nice little upside here, hopefully on Palantir. Maybe we just made the bottom. We didn't have any bids. We had a bid at 11 and only went down as far as 16. Our average price is 30, so we're not in trouble, but we will get it out if it does go back to the upside. Clover reload, still where it is. It did go back upside there on Clover, so you know our 1350 target is there. I mean, if we could get it back here, that would be pretty fantastic. 1450, we'll take it out there for a 30-cent win. But either way, we need to get going here on Clover to the upside and watch this NASDAQ go. Okay, Palantir, I see you. Let's go, man. This could be a good trade for us, especially if the NASDAQ does go and the Palantir buyers come in. Maybe I need to phone Aunt Kathy here and get her on this because maybe this needs to go. Palantir, 11 million shares, back to flat. So when this is the other thing, guys. When there we go, NEO out of NEO. So that one slayed us as NEO goes all the way to the downside. It's fine. I mean, it's not it was a decent loss. I mean, look, a loser's a loser. We'll take it and we'll own it, right? But that move downside, not super risky. Our average price was 46.30, so that's a 60-cent hit there as we get out at 80. So 50 cents hit there on NEO, right at these levels though. So again, I'm not going to get back in because if the market does fail, I have bigger problems with Palantir. So let's hope for the market to bounce back, and then we'll trade this Palantir accordingly.
And hopefully, well, the market bouncing back is not going to matter to Bed Bath & Beyond. Is that pullback into that 30 area. Now, it tried to bounce once. That's when we got in. Been patiently waiting. And it's sitting there holding like a 29.60, not let alone 29.50. Closed at 29.30, so that's that bottom end of the range. At yesterday's close, not a horrible anchor. I wouldn't add to this unless it's breaking back out above 30.25 here, or bouncing off of a 29.30. I think we're trying to fill this right back in, first at 31, obviously in VWAP, and then up into that 32 range. So I'm trying to be very, very patient. The market is still in that strong end range. Tesla right back up to 680, so it's like 3 times in a row. Like you're being forced to buy a dip on Tesla at like when it goes $2. I'm thinking it should go at least like 4 or 5, and we're gearing up for a potential move that's bigger than this. And I think patience is the name of the game here. Like I could easily be just jumping into more shares here, but I kind of feel like we're gonna wait for our price, or we're gonna continue to play like the whole breakout game, and then I'll only get the moves on the upside breaking, which has been the case. The dip buys have eluded me on Tesla so far. Brennan?
Some of these Chinese EV makers under pressure. Today, you remember yesterday we tried to bounce on XPeng, but back to the downside again today, just flushed through 41. There was more details that came out this morning regarding that Hong Kong listing that's going to happen, it looks like, for XPEV, guys, to the downside today.
Oh, hell yeah. We'll do some flips right now. You see our average price 26. It was 28, but we just got some out. So now it's average costing us down there. So here goes Palantir, man. Nice little bid side here. Nice call on that one. Our NEO, we got flushed out on that, but I told you we had bigger fish to fry here. We had double the shares in Palantir that we did in NEO, just to let you know that. So let's wait to see now where it goes. And it's not, you know, it's not upside yet. We're taking profits on it, but we want we want Palantir to get at least back here to 44. Let's see if we can take a VWAP trade out there. My next out though, I have a 43 waiting there, and I have a 37 offer. So if we can get some 37s and then some 43s, that'd be pretty sweet off our long now 26, 27, but it was 28. So our real long on Palantir about 26, 28. So let's wait to see if it goes to the upside now. Our Clover is battling. I see you, Clover. You're battling. I got you. So we'll see how far this one wants to go now. But Clover trying to go. We're back to flat. That was a pretty sweet buyback down there at 14. So now let's wait to see if we can get back upside. We're going to get some out at 40. I don't know if it's going to go or not, but that is a name that we're looking at as well. And then Alphi, we already took out 1/3. And we're just waiting for more on that. So we'll see if it can test VWAP, but I'm not really nervous about this position. So not too much volume today and not really moving around too much. So Alphi, we'll wait on that one, not too worried about it, but I am excited for Palantir to touch that 37 and get us out for a dime piece on that as well. So let's go, Brendo.
I think it was Sterling Silver asking about DGBI. Is that a New York stock?
News, it's digital brands. Yeah.
It was, there was an Amazon tie here, guys. I'll show you this one. The channel expanded into the Amazon marketplace. If we can, there we go. Yeah, I don't think it's actually in our system, but yeah, DGBI halted at 10:07 there.
Yeah. Not in our system. I checked NYSE American, which is AMEX. I checked New York, NASDAQ. So I know it is a relatively new listing maybe, but this is what happens if you're trading with us at Day Trading World. Do you have it?
I got it. It's okay. Definitely halted. Whoops. Of course, it doesn't flip in my level 2.
Maybe I never called it up and it was halted. Is that maybe why? I don't know. Maybe there's an error there.
I got it here. It's in a vol halt. It's in a halt state. I mean, it's been here for 15 minutes or so, guys. So we do have it in the system. I don't know why level 2 wouldn't load up there, but it is.
Oh, you know why? It's not tradable because it probably has less volume.
It might be blocked in our system. Yeah. So I'll have to check in, see if we can have order flow when it does come back in. But yeah, DBGI is halted. It looks like, I don't know exactly when the resumption is going to be here, but good look on that one. I do want to go back over to, did you just mention Clover there, Sean? I made a snafu. Because I just finished saying when it made this move, yeah, I don't want to add to it until it tests that 1383, which is yesterday's close, below that 14 range. Well, I'm sorry, it did. I just missed this. It actually did test lower. So I should have been looking at the chart instead of level 2 there. It does. It holds higher. I should have had this cluster here, something in front of 1405. That was kind of ridiculous, but either way, I'm going to grab some of this next consolidation. I will continue to cover in front of VWAP. Every time I buy the dip on the stock, I am covering some in front of VWAP. I'm covering some in front of 1475. I'll cover some in front of 15 and then try to hold that core position. That's just the way I want to do it. Tesla, I'll be happy with the fact that it's working, and then we're constantly going to still be in the money here, but it does not want to give any dip buys. It's kind of crazy. The breaks are the only thing. I'll cover again at 685 and then look for another dip or another break in the money and looking good. It's just I wish I could buy some on the dip. I love doing that, and I can't seem to do it on Tesla. Brendo?
More on Carnival, guys. The slide continues, if you want to call it that. 2.4% now. They just said on the call, near term will be impacted by restricted deployment options and not all ports back to operations, obviously. So day lows here for CCL.
Blech. All right, I mean, I like trading CCL through some of these even, there we go. So we'll go short now. I don't know, that should have just triggered. We're gonna go short through this break of 50 there. So maybe it's short, oh, there we go. So we just got it now, 48. So we are now short on Carnival. This may be a little too late to the party. So let's, I'm not expecting a big win here, but that's a nice move to the downside there on Carnival. And here we go, man, we just took 48s. So again, no real room to the downside. I was looking at this here on the 20-minute. We're just heading lower, lower, lower. So nothing here. We'll have to look at a longer term time frame to see where this may stop. The daily chart, I don't know. We're already below the 50 period now. So maybe 2680, something like that. But here's a nice little win. Thank you for that one, Brendan. And again, you don't have to wait. Sometimes you can just pound into some of these names. There's a nice little 48. We will take half out for 10 cents and then see what happens at 27 even, guys.
So, I got the first dip on Orphazyme. I think I always mix this up because Brendan is so fantastic at correcting us when we make mistakes with company names. I do it all the time. Orphazyme, I think it's an M, right, Brendan? It is correct. Okay, so there you go. I got it the first time, and I said I'll be a little more patient and maybe get a better price than 808. Well, that was kind of dumb because it turns right here at 804 where my bid was, and then again at 805, and then you're seeing that rinse and repeat action. But this has actually been better than Clover in terms of holding that higher low and giving you some actionable trades because you're taking a 20-cent scalp. I've only done it once, but it's actually given it to you twice now, whereas Clover, not quite as good. Tesla now, once again, 2.5 in the money. I'm looking for that $4 or $5 range to scalp the next little bit and then try to buy that dip. But here on ORF, I got to take 830, 835, bank some of that profit, and then try and get back in at like an 810 maybe, like where we got last time. Get a little more aggressive in front of that 8 even area. So I should never do it. You know, I just said yesterday, when you're moving an order, cancel the old one and put the new one in first. Whatever. I did it the other way around here because it's safely away from that price. But ORF looking like it's trying to hold a higher low for the first time since the pre-market.
Okay, sell Clover. Okay, good. Yeah, so just looking at this Clover now, 10 cents in the money on Clove. So just another name here that we like. Oh, just went to the downside. Okay, started to go up. We were trying to find out a spot here for Clover to get out. We did have a 46, again, just before VWAP. Let's see if Clover can go. Lots of volume, man, 45 million. So let's not worry about missing a certain level if we don't get it or anything like that. You know, it could, I mean, this thing could jump 20, 30 cents or go down the same as we've seen here today. So let's wait on that one. CCL doesn't, I mean, look, we did get 10 cents, man. We were looking at 10 cents there. Didn't take it. Now we have to absorb this upside move. I'm willing to hold this all the way back to VWAP, which is 28. So if you guys want to join me in that, that's fine. I know a lot of you are going to be trying to be probably long on this name. I don't mind the long at all. We're just going to play the momentum to the downside, down that 2%. Brendan's been dropping some of the news. None of it has looked that great to me. But again, when you're trading names on earnings day, that is like a completely different ball game because we don't know like where the big money is on these names. You know, they may just wanted to buy it up there at 27 despite the report. So sometimes they get like sell or buy side triggers based on certain prices. So we're going to try to play off those. I'm going to try to average in and around here where we jumped around a bit. So we'll see if we can get a better average short right there. And there goes our Palantir, man. This is a stock that we're cleaning. There's 37, man. So another one. We'll spin the money here today for Palantir as it just continues to go upside. Clover's doing good for us, 10 cents in the money. CCL out of the money, 10 cents. And then ALF, again, I'm not comfortable with this trade, so we didn't take very many shares, just like yesterday, but we already took it out. Now we'll wait to see what ALF does around 1170.
And that is ALF, the stock. ALF, I don't know, I love saying it. Look, we need to get back on the Melmac here and see if we can't get a nice move in ALF. I actually took some, come on, ALF. I actually took some more shares when it got to this cluster here. Now, it's still thinking that I'm giving you the higher time frame look there, but this is what you really want to see. Oh, goodness, that's going to be Oxygen. This is a deep pullback on the daily chart. You're going to see that all kinds of weakness. When you break that low, it still has such a massive, massive run back. And it's not even, it's like halfway to that $9 range, guys. That's why when I look at ALF, there's still so much room in here. And I feel like it's not like it's one of those, like I'm not going to put it in the GTT category or one of those like you just short it and then hang on to it all afternoon because it probably has a little more momentum to it, a little bit more dangerous than some of those small caps that I short and hold all day. But when I look at that much room, I look at the multiple failures on any pop this morning. It does have the similar setup, and with that setup, when I take a breakdown, I'm usually shorting off of these clusters and off of VWAP. So I did add to my ALF position here. I will tell you, it certainly does have a little bit more risk than some of those stocks. So I am willing to stop out at 1175 and keep things reasonable. Brendan? Nope.
It is small cap time, guys. Let's have a look at a few things. Very busy morning right across the board, regardless of what sector you're looking at. 70% here for this Marin software. There was a couple of different catalysts here, but we've come back under 3. I said a couple of times, watch 3, key level. I tried it just quickly in front of that on the short side, got out, flipped long. The long was great off the open. I don't really know what to do with this now because there's a lot of support over here in the pre-market, so I'm not in this at all right now. Volume's also dying off. Heads up on MRIN. I would not be surprised if it continues to the downside. GTT, this was very, very sleepy. Not really exciting at all, but still kind of grinding to the downside back to 260. This down here was 250 from yesterday, so almost there, filling that gap once again. This one, ARAV, a little bit thinly traded on this one, so you had to be careful with it, but 7 up here ends up being the resistance in the pre-market, and then 720 above that. But this thing just fell apart down to about 5.5 now for ARAV. Guys, back to you.
Sorry, no, go ahead, Jeff.
No, go ahead. No, I was going to say probably the same thing as you. I don't know. Just averaging into another position there. There's that CCL position that we just got a new reload. So our average price now, you can see the price now, 58. So like, how could we have a short 47 and a short 65, average price 58? We basically did the same thing on both. So we did a little bit more aggressive on this short than we did here for share size. So we do have a better price now, 58. So just watch out. We are going to play off this VWAP break of 28. So watch out for that. That's our out position there. I just want to go over that before, just so you guys know why my price changed there. We did take that CCL as described, guys. So let's wait to see where this goes. We'll get some back out. If it comes back to 50, we'll get some out, and then hopefully we can retest some of those lows.
So I'm glad you did that, Sean, because I actually had to go get locates on DBGI. Actually, we were able to trade it. It's not blocked on our system. I thought it might be based on the volatility it had. This is, look, the first halt is going to be a crazy one. The second one does give that setup. Now, I had to get the locate, so there's no chance that I was going to be able to take this trade. It makes a test of the halt level to the upside, fails through. That's where you'd be shorting in like the 666, 670 range. And then, look, I would have scalped like one piece out and be holding the rest for like a 6 even or VWAP kind of action, and you'd still be in that trade. If you've missed the first move, to me, the risk reward isn't there because I missed out on the first part of it, so I am not chasing this. If you're already in it, at this point, it's already tested the lower side, you're probably going to keep your stop at an 85 or a 7 even. Crazy, crazy moves. Tesla did. The only thing, I'm telling you, the only thing that's working for me is like, look at all these higher lows, and I'm only taking the breaks. We get the 85 move, so fantastic, 78 and 80, but I missed the dip at 76. I missed the dip at 76. I was waiting for 75 here. I was waiting for 76 here. Down here at 667, I was waiting for 666. So, I don't know, I'm off by a buck on every single dip buy on Tesla. What that's telling me, obviously, is when you're making a trade like that, what I'll often do, what I have been doing, is that I'll throw a bid out there in the pre-market, knowing I'm only to step in front of the sword when I really like it. But the better play would be like when I'm shorting at 930 and I'm waiting for that rollover to just watch my level 2. If it bounces anywhere close to that bid price, just cross up and get aggressive and grab 68s there. In this position here, grab that 76 half or 77, whatever you need to do to get into that position. Now, the 85 looms here for a potential break. Market is still screaming through those highs of the day. We have the momentum going. We're right at that 14.4 in the NASDAQ. So I'd love to be able to say, hey, let's get a dip buy on Tesla to like 77 or 78. That has not worked yet. Maybe it does here. I'm kind of crossing my fingers that this time, if it dips down close to VWAP, I'll be able to get more aggressive catching it on the bounce. It's been a good stock for my best on the day. That doesn't excuse the fact that the absolute best trade is one that I missed because I was passive on the bid at the open, trading the meme names instead of just jumping over to Tesla, which, you know, I don't trade Tesla every single day, but the day it looks pretty good, and it's been 2 in a row now. You can't be missing out on these opportunities. I am kicking myself over it, and it's not doing it to be funny. It's just if you have an A+ setup, you've got to be all over it. There's no excuse missing it, which I've done now twice in a row on Tesla.
Okay, so I see, I didn't even notice this one, Alphi ripping to the upside right here.
Oh, I just got stopped out, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to average in. So we take that 12.12 there. We were always going to be waiting for this little level 12.50 there on Alphi. So, right now we're not stopped out. We're going to wait for that level 12.20, 12.50 basically. Although the high looks like it's like 12.60, but whatever. I'll wait for 12.50. So there's a nice little short into Alphi there. We'll see if we get it back to VWAP and then get that thing out for flat because, yeah, we don't want to be part of that. If it's going to keep making moves like that one, that's not part of my MO. What is part of my MO is this. Money. Okay, because look, I think that's annoying, but everyone keeps telling me to do it, so we'll do it there. Palantir, look at this, tick, 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 boom. So our average price, I mean, look, it's not a huge win, but depending on the share size you're trading, how you're trading these names, 10 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents, it hasn't even moved today. So, when you're watching our show compared to some others, we're day traders, pure day traders. We're trading equity. We're not sitting here trading options, CFDs, none of that stuff. We're trading equity, the real shares, and we got to be flat at the end of every day. So when we see some of this money come through and these moves happen, like we can get in and out. We get paid to trade as well on some gateways and have to pay on others. So I know there's some talk with Sterling about some of the fees. I did message him back about the fees. A lot of the times here at Day Trade the the world. If you offer liquidity, so you add it, so like if I put a limit offer at 39 and get filled right now, I will get paid for that fill. Okay, so we don't have to worry necessarily about execution fees. Okay, so keep that in mind every time you see me getting in and out. We're not worrying about execution fees.
That's actually a really big point, because I think and I get here Orf here, and I'm like, I should have been trading this more. I should have had that dip, like 4 separate times. Well, at least 3, maybe 4 separate times. I should have had more long on that dip. And that's what we're thinking about. If you're paying a fee in every single execution, well, your style of trade will be different. You might just take more shares on that first little round, and you might not be scalping in and out. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do that, get my offer out here in front of that 30 once again on ORPH. So we'll continue to rinse and repeat. I got out of that alpha. I just said I added to it. But because, that's the thing, right? Like, if this was one of those other smaller cap names, you might have seen me dig in really deep off this level here. But no, it's got some momentum to it, allow it to break higher. Now, there is that 1250. Well, I'm pretty sure Sean has mentioned, I'm like 99.9% sure Sean has mentioned this one on Alf, that 1250 level because of what happened in the afternoon show. Do not forget, I know it's been a wild morning. We have half an hour to go on this show, but we're right back at the close at 3:15. And this was at top end of that range. So we test that bottom. We like the breakdown trade there. Didn't work out for me, but the top end of this range is that 1250. If it breaks, when they came out with that share buyback program that I say with a bit of a grin because it wasn't that large, it got up to this 1380 and reversed hard. If it breaks 1250, I am absolutely hunting for a short of 1380 when I see a level like that, guys. And speaking of big levels and parabolic moves, DBGI now consolidating. So that setup did work. I had to get locates first. I was not quick enough to be able to catch them there, but that setup worked on the reopen. The whole play still in favor, but it has not broken that view up at 6 even. So 6 becomes a significant level now on DBGI. If it bounces from this particular price, I think you can maybe take one shot at that whole level, give it to a 7 stop. Although the 6 break looks pretty juicy as well. Watch out. This was like that bottom wick here at 550. You probably want to cover some of that, but there's lots of room to that other gap off the first haul, which is at 518, which does make 6 break a little bit appealing.
Okay, sorry about that, Rizvan. I just saw you say the 2 super chats. Where are you there? Sorry, but I gotta bring this up here. 2 super chats and no reply. Where? Here? No. So next time, just put it out, Rizvan, and I will. I just didn't see it, so I don't know if Neil handled it or what, but obviously none of us did. So let us know what that was, Rizvan. Don't super chat again. Just put it in here, and I will find it for you, or just super chat $1 or something. I'll call it up. But okay, that's the classic. Yeah, the money is a good one. Someone else said there that they get paid. I think it was you. Was it Christopher? I don't know who it was. Oh, yeah, here it is. Yeah, Christopher. You get paid for ARCA, so then I would just use ARCA. Like, if you get paid to add liquidity to any of these gateways, just use that one. Like, there's no ever, I mean, unless you're, like if I only got paid on ARCA, I would only use ARCA. We get BATS, EdgeX, basically any of the ones that pay you, traditionally we get paid for. So, but if it was only one, I would only use that one. So, make sure, and again, it's gonna be trade specific, right? You gotta make sure liquidity is there if that matters to you. I'm not sure. Brendan?
10:30, guys. That means in 15 minutes, we have another great guest coming through today, Awaken Life Sciences. Anthony Tennyson going to talk us through Awaken's approach to the psychedelic space. Brand spanking new NEO listing here in Toronto as of yesterday. So stick around for that coming up in about 15 minutes, as I said. There we go. We got it off this time. In the meantime, let's get a check on how things in Europe are shaping up so far. Miss V is watching what's going on over there.
Hey Brandon, European markets are back to the positive territory. Biotech company Tecan, trading in Switzerland, is up more than 12% after announcing a $1 billion acquisition of Premarket Corporation. Back to you.
Yeah, positive, guys, for the most part, right across the board so far. Pretty good day.
It's finally happening, and I'm just gonna. Look, I see you guys out there, Daryl, and you guys talking about a BBY finally making its move. It didn't quite bounce off that 29.30, that previous close price. I mean, it got to 40s. It is rounding back upside. I did say, hey, one way to get in is if it bounced here and you could catch that trade. But the other way to think about it was when it broke that 30.25 area. So now that it's done so, I feel pretty comfortable catching some more shares. I just wanted to see it start to go a little bit here, guys. And then it finally made that nice little round out. There's plenty of room for it to run. We still like that out at the previous close, which is at that 29.30. So you're giving us more room because you think it can expand a little bit here in Bed Bath & Beyond. Now, Would I cover some in front of this cluster here when it goes like 60, 70 cents in the money? Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm going to do that in front of 31 for all the reasons mentioned. The only thing I want to add to Sean, it was a great point about adding liquidity. If you only have access to one gateway, like an ARCA, there's plenty of liquidity on ARCA. Like, you're always going to find it somewhere on level 2. Even on a thin stock like Tesla here, you'll see ARCA. It's no bigger or no better than some of the other names, so it's spread across the board. ARCA is a fine gateway. So if you get paid on that one and you're going to be adding into liquidity in front of a level, like maybe you're offering in front of 685, just go ahead and do that, and it's perfectly fine. I'm going to be offering in front of 31 here on Bed Bath & Beyond. Hopefully it will start to get going. It would be about time for this one after it made that dip. Patiently waiting for it. The market still looks pretty strong to me, although Tesla for the first time could turn a bit of a loss. 85 did get that break. Not making much of a move here. It did get up here like 86 is, and then a bit of a fail. Dip buy could be on with this one. If it breaks this cluster here at like 682.50, you're really starting to hunt back into like 670, 77, 78, something along those lines. So that's what I'm watching pretty closely here in Tesla, especially on the tape. If the bid start to evaporate at 682.50, that's where I'd want to cover this one and look for that move deeper into 78 even.
Do I find, yeah, so, I'll have to do some work on that if I find better win-loss ratios. It is a good question there. I don't really actually, I mean, I used to keep track. Now that we're doing the show, like, I mean, it's just going crazy here. But we'll find out breakout trades or dip buys. Lately, dip buys, breakout trades were great earlier. I will do a little bit of research there. And I'm still waiting. If anybody sees you, Valeria, you got to look out for that Rizvan guy, because I need to find out his question there. If you're still on Rizvan, I'm looking for that because you said you did Super Chat and I missed it. So that's a good one. Look at Zim. Not right now. I don't even know what that is unless you mean Zoom. We'll look at that in a minute. And then Plug Broke. Yeah, Watch XL. Probably should be doing that as I'm a big holder of that stock. Oh, okay, good. Valeria did talk about that, so I will look at that. Valeria just messaged me what that is, so we'll do that. And then I'm in now again, finally, to Bed Bath & Beyond. We've lost on that. That was good. We did take 31.30 out there. That was 40 cents. Then long. Average, then got hit. It's my worst stock today, Bed Bath & Beyond, but we are now back long, double the shares that we've had on any of these positions. So now that it's sort of made that bottom, we'll see about it going back to the upside there. Palantir, I mean, let's go on Palantir, guys. We'll do the backflip because here we go. We're long at 26. It's right back to 45. Bang, 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 all the way down in. And these are some of those levels that we talked about. We even put it on our sticky note back down through. Should happen for Palantir. So on a NASDAQ dip down, look at the NASDAQ, man, up 1%. Like yesterday I dumped Microsoft because I wasn't believing in it, and then look what it's doing today. We get out right here at 266.97. So here's your dip buy question. So today, my number one stock is on this dip buy, and Microsoft's still making moves as the NASDAQ. Man, my account must just be blowing up. Like, I'm heavy, all these NASDAQ names. Congratulations to anybody else that is as well.
Yeah, I mean, the tech is definitely giving that pullback in. Like, I'd still stay away from some of the ridiculously valuated names, and we talked about that with Virgin Galactic. Bed Bath & Beyond starting to make that move. Continuing to make that move, I should say, not starting to make that move into VWAP. We do still have that out in front of that 31 even, so it looks like it's starting to go. I'm going to cover this Tesla. It looks like it cannot hold it. Well, not yet. That 682.50 area looks like it could come into play here, and so I'll get back out of Tesla and then hunt for that 675. Clover, look at this. I mean, it just cannot get going. So unlike ORF, which has been giving you that dip buy and moves into VWAP, Clover is absolutely going to sleep. It's not really barcoding per se, but it's as close to it as possible without actually barcoding on Clover Health. So a bit of a sleepy one here on Clover since that breakout.
So Rizvan, with Clover and Workhorse above the 50-period moving average, can you explain why these stocks are trending downwards? Can you help explain? Yeah, so you want to know about Clover and Workhorse. So again, I mean, you're talking about the 50-period moving average, I guess, Rizvan, on the daily or the VWAP. I don't know, I guess above, yeah. So why are they closing down? I mean, Workhorse really isn't closing down. I mean, I'm trying to find out what your question is. Can you explain why these stocks are trending downwards? Okay, so Workhorse right now really isn't trending downwards. It's kind of trending higher here. And you know what? Like, you got to wait for the close, right? So today Workhorse is still up, so we are still going to the high side. You probably asked a question during this point. Look, you can't be invested. This is the one thing I just have to keep telling it over and over again to everybody that'll listen. You you got to figure out what your plan of action is. And I think that's the one thing that we talk about all of the time. Like, if you're worried about Workhorse dipping down to 1560 here, which was just yesterday's bottoms, then you need to worry about something else, honestly, because this is what's going to happen. These stocks are going to go up and down. Like, you can't expect to be in a trade waiting for 50% return or 20% return and then not give it like 3% move down, right? So you got to watch out for some of these names. My whole thing about this 50 period is it doesn't work fantastic on some of these meme stocks. Not that I think Workhorse is one. I don't actually think that Workhorse is one, but you got to watch. It's above it, so that's good. There's the break there. That confirms this bottom, so you get the break. I like Workhorse back into here, but I wouldn't be worried about it until we broke at least, its latest consolidation, which is 1350. So thanks for the super chat. If you learn anything from that answer, it's just don't panic if you're into some of these names. Like a Clover, look how much Clover moves, man. Like, we can't be worried about it when it dips down a little bit here, guys. Dips down, like, I'm buying more off yesterday's lows. We're not worried about these downtrends. That's actually a downtrend, but it's only for a half hour. And now what? Now is the trend changing? So you got to sort of watch out, take your highs, take your lows, and just try to, go with the punches. I mean, I know that kind of sucks when you're holding the bag, but you got to have outs and you got to have targets. And if you don't, then yeah, you'll be stuck for a long time on some of these trades. So just try to manage your positions the best you can and have price targets and realistic ones at that.
That's the thing. Realistic price targets is a very important thing. And obviously, that was all fantastic. I want to come back to an old one. I shouldn't say an old one because it's the first day that we've traded in forever. And I've looked at GTT before, but it was that pre-market look. Remember when it was barcoding? I'm like, yeah, I'll take some shares out. It then made a flush into 265. Thought we'd continue into yesterday's close at 250 towards 248. It does not. Bounces into VWAP. I've waited and waited for it to get into VWAP, test it and fail. Now I've added to the position here finally on GTT. So there wasn't much of a reason to do anything until I actually got up here. So I've added back in. Of course, my original share short were above $3, so you'll see a bit of an average price here at 295. It is getting to 1040. You got to go to Brendan at the big screen. We have Sector Watch.
Yeah, nice positive day, guys. Let's have a look at what is in charge so far. We are up 0.67 on the S&P currently, so we'll talk about a little bit of consumer discretionary first. DRI, MGM, we mentioned right out of the gate, so strong today. 3.7 still for MGM, all-time highs early on this morning. Penn National, 2.3%. They had a little bit of a headline in the pre-market this morning as well. 4.3 for Tesla, back to the upside 3 days in a row. Look at Ford there. Not doing anything, dead flat for Ford so far today. Tech stocks leading the way, though, as we said, NASDAQ in charge right now. Only ENPH here in the semiconductor group to the downside. Pretty much everything else in positive territory. Hardware makers, software, and the semiconductors leading the way. It's actually XLNX there and MPWR. AMD, I guess, 2.93 versus 2.96, so all 3% plus. For the most part, for tech stocks having a nice day again. There's Eli Lilly, 8.5% right underneath it. Biogen to the downside, 4.3%. So Lilly with positive Alzheimer's drug-related news today. That means Biogen to the downside. ALGN, 3.3 here, leading in the healthcare equipment makers, but healthcare stocks as a group, very, very strong. Far corner here, just wanted to point out Twitter, 2.4%. ATVI and TTWO among the leaders in the communication stocks. So that group also nicely higher, 0.66 now for the S&P, guys. Back to you.
Brendan, you just reminded me, Eli Lilly, I'm not going to get that dip buy. You can see we put it in the pre-market here. It's basically not barcoding, but it's holding that high at 239, like 1, 2, 3, 4 times now. Looks like it's gearing up for a potential breakout as opposed to a breakdown here. And maybe you can catch like a 235 if you like it for a short, assuming the market turns around, which it hasn't shown any signs of doing here just yet, or maybe even like a 232. But either way, if those things happen, we're going to take a huge reversal, and it's lunchtime trading. So anticipating that that's going to happen is going to be kind of crazy. This is what Eli Lilly looks like on the top end here. Look, if it breaks, I mean, it's air above here, guys, absolute air. So you have to look for the potential breakout at this point. It could be one of those afternoon plays. Who knows? If 240 breaks during lunchtime, you might come back at 315 and see me long Eli Lilly like $13 higher than what I was bidding in the pre-market. So that could be the change of pace here for Lilly. Clover continues, I mean, it continues to do absolutely nothing. And it's kind of boring here, but if it breaks that low, I'm going to be out if we take out yesterday's close. This is 95s. Yesterday we closed at 1383, so split hairs, 1385 is my stop on this dip buy. And then ORF is very, very similar, Orphazyme. Now you're getting a wedge at the bottom. It hasn't even given you that breakup yet. Fantastic, it's been able to hold the pre-market low, it's been able to hold 8 even. At some point, if we don't get to the upside, you're going to continue this slight downward trend on the gap up and then turn into a losing trade. Now, am I going to hold it past 780? No chance. That's going to be out no matter what here on ORF. And then Bed Bath & Beyond couldn't get past VWAP there. Added more when it took out that 30.25. Stalled here at 30.65. So as long as we can hold above 30 on this move, I still think it's no need to change the plan. I want to give it that wider range. But if it does break 30 even, I'd have to at least consider, okay, well, if it dips down into the 60s, I should pick some up and then start scalping it if it doesn't want to be a bigger mover. I have to play what's in front of me. Take what the market gives you. I thought Bed Bath & Beyond would be a bigger mover on a snapback trade. It's been pretty muted so far, and I'm going to have to adjust on the fly and start scalping it within the range to capture 30, 40, 50 cents instead of looking for dollar moves.
Yep, good call there. There was a super chat for Neil, so I'll leave that for him in a second. Palantir, nice move upside right now. So, yeah, like, you know, we could celebrate this, but it's a good move, man. Right back. This is a big stock for me today. You know that, a little bit of a roller coaster early. We talked about that and why we liked it and what was to look for there on Palantir, and we did get that. So we get those bottoms of 25, man. It did dip a little bit lower than we had hoped, but a good move, needless to say, there on Palantir. Probably worth getting some out as the NASDAQ just keeps on cruising, man. We always want to take out profits, so let's not be too foolish about that and not get out any. So up to 53 again, as you can see, like to say I want to take out profits. Obviously we do. If we would have held everything, we'd be way monstrous. But again, talk about our trades. That's a good one there for Palantir. So up to 26.53, another 26-cent winner there for Palantir. And the only thing that I wish we still had on board was this Microsoft trade. Now be $2 in the money, but either way, bang bang in the pre-market, nice little upside move. Let's get some off on Palantir and then see where we go from here. But I'm really happy back above VWAP, a nice little move here for PLTR. We're getting close to that interview, guys, but we'll leave Neil with that super chat, I think.
Yeah, if you want something, I've talked about a couple of names recently. One of them, obviously Tesla is going to be on the mind here, is it's finally got some momentum back into the upside, right? Like it's been a sleeping and sort of lumbering giant here. Off of that 540. Look, at the end of the day, we talked about buying dips in this name several times in that 600 and that 580 range as well. But even if you've missed out on that, you know, had that 635 break, okay, fine. That's a great entry point. I love our chances of getting back up to, like, people can talk about all-time highs in the 1,000. Do I think eventually it's going to get there? I don't know if I'd put money on 9 months, to be honest with you, that you're going to break the all-time high. But I mean, at this point, if you're talking about this now 635 or maybe 600 support level and then catching along in here, you can get a 25% return with a reasonable downside support area, and that's very reasonable in the slumber months here. You have to look, given where we are in the market, you kind of have to look to something which has been lumbering all along a little bit, that's clustered up and hasn't made its move yet to get going, because the summertime months, the market might not move as much, so catching a depressed name that's starting to break back out again, that's probably the way to go. Can you look at some things that are taking out highs? Yeah, do I like Eli Lilly? Sure. I'm not adding to my Eli Lilly position, but that's not a horrible place if you want something which is showing strength at the top end. But you know, I've liked Tesla for a couple of days. I liked it every single time. We talked about those dip buy prices. The only mistake I've ever made on Tesla is sometimes not being aggressive enough on some of these dips if you're looking to add to it. I think Tesla's the kind of thing you can trade, swing, trade intraday, and hold long term. Not everything fits that triple bill. Like I'll never be able to figure out Apple when it comes to sometimes that day trading. I think you just trade the SPY and the Qs if you're going to be looking at an Apple, but that's good for long-term hold. Tesla, you can do all three with, in my mind.
All right, guys, we are now ready. Good response there. Thank you for the question, guys, but we are now ready for our guest of the day with Brandon.
Yeah, really excited, guys, to have a chat here with Awaken Life Sciences on not only the company itself, brand spanking new listing on the NEO Exchange here in Toronto, as I mentioned, as of yesterday. We're going to talk a little bit about the overall sector as well, which I'm kind of looking forward to. Anthony Tennyson, CEO, joining us on the show for the first time. It's great to have you, Anthony. Congratulations, obviously, off the top here for the listing as of tomorrow. or as of yesterday, I should say, a brand new listing here on the NEO.
Yeah, listen, thank you very much. It's an absolute pleasure here to be speaking to you and to get a chance to speak to your audience after what was a really, really important day for us, for the company, for the team, but really most importantly, for the people, the individuals, the families and the communities who are suffering from addiction that we're aiming to help by bringing forward psychedelic research, psychedelic drugs and therapy development to better help those people suffering from addiction.
Yeah, as I said, I want to get into the company, but let's just have a kind of broader discussion here to start things off on the overall sector itself. It's an ever-growing sector as far as the amount of participants. Give me your thoughts here on where we stand as far as you said, the important research that is not only continuing to happen, but what in your mind needs to happen to kind of bring this more to the forefront?
So, yeah, there's a lot of companies active in this space, but it's only just the beginning. It is like mental health and addiction is such a significant unmet medical need that we're really just at the beginning of a revolution and a paradigm shift in the treatment of both those significant unmet mental needs, or medical needs, I should say. And I think what people need to do is they need to change really how they view the delivery for treatment of mental health and addiction services. Typically speaking, you put companies in one bucket or another. You put them in the biotech bucket or you put them in the healthcare bucket. If you're in the biotech bucket, you're making compounds. If you're in the healthcare bucket, you're delivering services. And that's typically speaking, that's the psychiatry model and the psychology model. And those models just simply are not effective, as always effective as they could and perhaps should be for treating mental health and addiction. And what's wonderful and the significant potential that psychedelics have is they can change that paradigm, but they only will work if you deliver four things at the same time. It's the compound, it's the therapy delivered by a qualified therapist in an environment that is specifically designed to improve the probability of success. And that's why you need to start viewing, or investors, I recommend, need to view this industry as a combination of biotech and clinics, or as we like to say, development and delivery.
And it's an important point, and that kind of gives us an easy transition into the company itself. So when we're talking about Awaken, where does the company fit in your mind in this space?
So I almost neatly set myself up for this particular answer at my last answer. We do two things, right? And it's real simple. We do development and delivery of psychedelic drugs and therapies to better treat addiction. And the reason that we're focused on addiction is it's one of the biggest unmet medical needs of modern times. By our calculations, between 15 and 20% of the US, UK, EU, and Canadian adult population suffer from either a substance addiction, like alcohol, or a behavioral addiction, like gambling, at any one time. And there is just a massive, massive unmet medical need. Only a small proportion of those people suffering actually seek and secure treatment. And even for those that do seek and secure treatment, the success outcomes are fairly weak. For example, alcohol use disorder that affects 5% of the global population, it has a 70% relapse rate after 12 months. That's a 70% failure rate after 12 months. As far as I'm concerned, that's just not good enough. And so what we're looking to do is to bring psychedelic research, psychedelic drug, and psychedelic therapy development forward to solve that problem.
And let's talk a little bit about then, the differences here when it comes to that research. What have you found to this point when you compare directly the results from psychedelic research versus, traditional treatments?
That's a great question. So there's an emerging body of academic research evidence that suggests and will suggest that psychedelic-assisted psychotherapy, so that's the combination of compound and therapy together, is more effective at treating alcohol use, addiction in general, but alcohol use disorder in particular. Our team, before they joined us, they ran the world's only trial for MDMA-assisted psychotherapy for alcohol use disorder. As I mentioned before, alcohol use disorder, 5% of the global population, typically speaking, 70% relapse. Early indications out of that clinical trial, 20% relapse. So that is a paradigm shift. So what we're doing is we're bringing that research forward from phase 2A into phase 2B. and that's with MDMA. Similarly, another psychedelic compound, ketamine, there's another clinical trial that one of our team ran before they joined us that's due to be published in the coming weeks, and that was for ketamine-assisted psychotherapy. And again, that will show that ketamine-assisted psychotherapy was more effective than the current treatments available. And again, we're bringing that research forward. We're actually going to commercialize that in our clinics as we open them across the UK and the EU in the coming years.
Now, you mentioned two separate approaches there for two separate problems. As far as the company is concerned, are there plans for expansion outside of those two specific topics that you mentioned going forward, as far as exploring other treatments down the road?
Absolutely. So we do, like I said, we do two things. We do development and delivery. Within development, we've got a near-term goal to focus on ketamine for alcohol use disorder, medium-term goal to focus on MDMA for alcohol use disorder, and a long-term goal to develop our own compounds to better treat a range of addictions, the outcomes for which have the most harm for society at present, and that's alcohol addiction, opioid addiction, tobacco addiction, and gambling addiction. And that's what we're doing in our development business. In our delivery business, we'll be delivering everything that we develop. We'll be delivering that in a chain of clinics that we'll own and operate across the UK and the EU. Ultimate goal is to have 20 clinics across the UK and the EU by the end of 2024. But we'll also look to solve problems in the North American market by providing licensed access to our IP and to our people to addiction treatment practitioners in the US, because there's a significant market available beyond the UK and the EU.
Anthony Tennyson, CEO of Awaken Life Sciences, with us today. Anthony, there's still this stigma, for lack of a better word, around this sector as a whole. What is it going to take in your mind to get people to shift the way they look at psychedelic medicines?
I think they might want to look around their neighborhood, their close friends, their family. People are suffering from mental health and from addiction. Certainly coming out of the current pandemic that we've all been through, mental health and addiction issues are becoming worse. There has not been a significant innovation in the treatment of mental health for a number of years. And I dare say there hasn't been an innovation in addiction treatment for even longer. That is resulting in individuals, their families, and their communities suffering in a way that they don't need to and that they shouldn't have to. And it is time to change. There is a significant body of scientific and academic research evidence that proves now that psychedelics and psychedelic-assisted psychotherapy are better at treating mental health issues than the current treatments. And there is an emerging body of evidence that shows psychedelics are better at treating addiction than current treatments. And I think it's beholden upon us as an industry and regulators and politicians to really, embrace this and deliver the change that is required, because all that's happening is individuals, families, and communities are not being treated with the most effective treatments. And that's just not good enough.
Brand new listing on the NEO exchange here in Toronto as of yesterday, AWKN, the ticker, guys. Go check it out. Awaken Life Sciences. It's an important topic and a very interesting one at that. Anthony Tennyson, CEO, we appreciate your time today and look forward to an update.
Thank you very much. It was an absolute pleasure. Take care.
Have a great day. There you go, guys. Look at Awaken Life Sciences, brand new listing, as we said, on the NEO as of yesterday, guys.
Thanks a lot again, Brendan. There was a question someone was asking, do you have to be a Canadian citizen to trade the NEO? Now think of, there's TSX, the NEO exchange, and then the venture here in Canada. Think of the US, so there's NASDAQ, New York, and the Amex. So I would check with your broker if for some reason you don't have access to it, but it has nothing to do with necessarily your citizenship. I do want to go back. We have a couple of minutes to go here, so going to review a couple of positions that are on. Not much left because it's getting pretty slow. Bed Bath & Beyond, I think I am going to go ahead and switch gears. It is getting a bit range bound. It's now just held that 30 even that we wanted to see, so we could be entering into a tight range where I might want to start scalping like 30, 40 cents at a time. So I might take some off in front of VWAP and then check back if it continues to dip again. Clover getting very close to stop me out of it. Yesterday's close at 1383 level, so Clover not looking too fantastic. There are some earnings to get to. the day of the week where there are a few big ones here. So let's go to Brendan. There's one name I know you guys are interested in.
I know what you're interested in, Neil, but yeah, we'll talk about some earnings coming up after market tonight and before the open tomorrow. Yeah, I thought we were done with the exciting ones, but a few on there, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking Nike for a very, very long time. BlackBerry's on there. And then, yeah, FedEx we talked about earlier on this week as well. So a couple good names to look at for sure there. We're excited for that. But yeah, good names there, good earnings. Glad to see some back, but we'll still be playing the same names, man. Palantir still ripping to the high side right now. I mean, look at this trade. We're now 40 cents in the month. We've just been ticking it out like every 5 cents, basically, we're offering, or every 4 or 5 cents all the way up. That's how you know that we had a lot of shares. So getting out there on the way back up. A good day so far, always could be better. But yeah, CCL coming back in right now. We're short 70 here. Taking off that view up, it never breaks that 28. So we'll see. We just got some out there at 70 as well. So a nice trade on CCL, not nice trade, but nice retracement back in. Let's see if we get into this area and take a little bit more profit there on CCL. So, so far so good on the retracement, but expecting a little bit more backside.
Yeah, exactly. I'm expecting a little bit more out of ORF. Well, it's not orfing or doing much of anything. And I said I got to get range bound here, and I got to stick to my word on First Bed Bath & Beyond. But ORF is the same thing. If it's going to start giving you 825 and that's it, I'm going to go back to this 25-cent range, 8 to 825, and hold the core position. Before we ever get out of here, don't forget, 3:15, we come back every single day to give you that fastest 45 minutes on YouTube with Shauna's Coin. It's a good one, and every day is a good one for that show. This one as well. But before we get out of here, I need to make you guys really, really hungry by throwing to Miss V for what national day it is.
Thank you, Neil. And hey, guys, I hope you had a great day so far as usual. Hope you enjoyed the show. And please make sure you like this video, guys. Your support means everything to us. Happy National Pralines Day, everyone.
Pralines, yeah, I like pralines and green ice cream, but I do like pralines as well. What are they dipped in there? What is that, toffee or something? Or I don't know what that is, but yeah, I know, but it's dipped in something there. That looked really good. Any opinions on pralines there, guys?
I love it. I'm with you. I prefer the ice cream, but however they're doing it there, I'm all on board with that. I have a sweet tooth. That looks pretty tasty there, guys. It's like hit or miss when we ask Brennan about treats. I kind of feel like you should always say these are great, but
I think you'll like this nuts, the nut factor. Yes, there it is. Yeah.
Am
I the only one that heard that?
There's never a National Salad Day, is there? I don't think we've ever had a national.
I like salads. Why is that so boring? Me and Brendan get a salad here every day, and we've requested to put on some tuna, some egg salad on the top of it. You mix it up; it's really good. So, yeah, trying to stay healthy and trying to hydrate as well. So far, so good, guys. What a big show! Yeah, we all like the pralines. You like pralines there, Valeria? Have you had them?
Yeah, I love it, of course. Okay. I love them in ice cream. I'm Team Neil.
I'm the one that brought up the ice cream, man. Why did Team Neil?
No, it's Sean brought up the ice cream.
Now.
Oh, I'm Team Salad now. Okay, that's fine.
I'm still stuck when Sean's like, I think he's gonna like those nuts, and I'm like, no one laugh at me and Lucas and Rob. I guess I'm just immature when it comes down to it. But thank you guys for all the support, all the super chats. I know sometimes, look, it moves pretty fast, and so if we ever miss those super chats, apologies on us. You can always DM one of us on Twitter, just reach out, not spam the chat, but just repeat. Don't send another super chat, but keep repeating the question, and everybody help out if we miss something.
Yeah.
We want to get to them. It's not our intention to ever miss that. We do this for you guys. Miss V is she's still working. We're doing the roll here. So for Miss V, we don't need the green today, so she's lovely in pink. Market's looking great. For Brendan Wicken's fantastic interview again, I'm Neil Roberts, and for Sean Katina, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live, and we'll see you back at the close.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.